The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Hi, Josh from the 93X Morning Show here. We don't want to freak anyone out, so I wanted to give you a heads up about some audio you're about to hear. Wrestling legend Ric Flair is going to join us this morning in studio. We're about to play you some clips from throughout his career. I'm aware when we've done things like this in the past, it could mean that something bad had happened to that person. But rest assured, the only bad thing I foresee happening for Ric Flair today is having to share a studio with Dana. Now, as we get ready for Mr. Flair's appearance, enjoy.
Woo! I dress myself in cashmere. Woo, 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 woo. Keep your mouth shut. I'm going to go in there and slap your face. I'll wear a $15,000 Rolex and you get on Space Mountain. You'll be like this. I am Ric Flair. And kiss all the girls in the neighborhood. Kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding. You turn the camera off and I'll be naked when you come back. Showtime. Woo!
All right, folks, good morning, and thank you for swinging by the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show Tuesday morning. And today has the potential to be a very memorable episode of our little radio program because F me running. Ric Flair has informed us that he plans on stopping by for a visit.
That's great. I'm happiest for you, you and Wapple, because I know you've been a fan for as long as you've watched wrestling. And it was very exciting. We didn't find out until yesterday after the show that this was even going to be a possibility. Not just that we get to talk to him, but that he'll be in studio.
Right. It kind of came out of nowhere. Who was it? Was it AEW or Target Center? Who sent us an email?
AEW.
AEW sent us an email yesterday, and we certainly appreciate it. And they kind of out of nowhere, they said, hey, you want the dirtiest player in the game to swing by tomorrow? And we said, well... You know, they said, you want the 16-time world heavyweight champion? And we said yes. Studio, live in studio. That's the plan. Starting around 7:30, Ric Flair is going to pop by.
I didn't even know some of these people still worked in the building that reached out to me yesterday to say, hey, what if I came in an hour or two early and stood outside to take some pictures with Mr. Flair? Is that okay?
Oh.
One in particular was very interesting because I was going to mention this to you, Ashley, but I forgot. She was out sick, and I had sent her a text saying, hey, I'm sorry. It was pretty bad, I guess. So
who was out sick?
One of our coworkers.
Okay.
So I sent her a text and said, hey, I hope you're feeling better. You know, I heard it's, you know, you're having a rough time. You know, if you need anything, let me know. And she, as Ashley said in the past, she left me on red. Okay, this was like a week and a half ago. And I kind of forgot about it. But I did notice that, she never got back to me. Maybe she's that sick or maybe she just didn't care that I texted her. And then she texted me yesterday about Ric Flair. I thought, well, good, she's alive first and foremost, but that's all it took is for us to get a legend in studio to have somebody get back to a text.
You should have left her on red.
I don't have that there. I don't have that feature turned on for that reason.
That's pretty cold-blooded.
You know what's funny? I didn't even realize that it didn't click until this morning. Wait a minute. She waited until, because she's a huge wrestling fan, and I'm excited for her, too.
She waited until she needed you for something.
Yeah.
That's pretty cold-blooded.
And she emailed and texted. She wanted to make sure she got a chance.
This is a gal who works, too. This is a gal who works in the building?
She tweeted?
Yeah.
Oh, did she really? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
She works here.
Yeah.
We don't see her very often.
Never.
We don't deal with her very often.
Never.
But as soon as we get a living legend in the building, well, another one. As soon as we get another living legend in the building, then she needs your help, Josh.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cold-blooded move.
No, hey, like I said, I'm happy for her because I know she is She rivals you guys. And I know, Dana, I'm sorry to leave you out. I know you're a big wrestling fan as well. But she rivals you guys in her love of wrestling.
So really, when Nate gets here, there's going to be a bunch of office dorks waiting on him?
Yeah, I was told that there will be people out there.
That's embarrassing.
The building's embarrassing enough, and then we got to march them all the way down here. There's going to be a bunch of wrestling rubes like us waiting for them.
Hey, this place can be pretty boring.
Yeah.
You know,
It
there's
is.
been people that have said, hey, do you mind if I come hang out in the studio? And it's like, well, it is really boring, to be honest with you. And so you get a little excitement, a little more than a little excitement.
More than a little, absolutely. And I'm joking, of course. Office dorks are welcome to, I mean, as far as I know, maybe Flair will tell you, get away from me. I don't know. But we're fine if... But it was quite a pleasant surprise yesterday when suddenly we were given the opportunity to talk to Ric Flair. It's been years, decades, since he's been on a 93X program. Decades, if I remember correctly.
I was going to say, did you get a chance to interview him over the phone?
That's where I'm going with this, Wapple. My memory is it's been 22 or so years since he's been in the building. I do think we've talked to him on the phone 2 or 3 times during that time period, during that space of time. But as far as the man physically walking into this building, I think it's been over 2 decades. My memory isn't always the best, but I think it's been over 2 decades. So very special to have a guy like Ric Flair, you know, who is... It's hard to even put into words. There's almost no athlete in the history of any sport. You combine baseball, basketball, hockey, football, there's almost no one who matches Rick when it comes to, you know, overall success, and just like a myth, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right.
The stories, the legends, the drama that has made up his career and his life, it's unmatched. Come up with somebody who has that level of stories and influence. He is every bit as big as he's always portrayed himself to be in television wrestling.
Question.
Yes, Josh.
If he were to offer, knowing your love for the man, if he were to give you the opportunity to ride Space Mountain, would you have to think about it?
I just did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I'd imagine you're going to say no, but...
Woo! To ride Space Mountain. It's a great question. I did think about it.
I would have to as well.
You'd have to.
I mean, shoot, I'm not the fan you are, and I mean, I could say I rode Space Mountain. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Think about it.
You would. You'd ride Space Mountain.
Absolutely.
Fire Truck Driving Jesus wants to know if we're going to Facebook Live or anything. I mean, if he's cool with it, we can still do that, right? I mean, every other radio station can figure it out. I'd imagine we could.
I know.
Yeah, I believe so.
I know nothing about it.
Well, yeah, let's ask him. Dana, will you remember to ask him? Mm-hmm. Let's see if he's cool. That would be great. That's a good idea. Thank you, Fire Truck Driving Jesus.
Good idea. I'm the last guy that would have come up with that, so we appreciate the help. So around 7:30, we're expecting to see the man, Ric Flair.
And how cool is it that, you know, it's funny, we've said this before. It seems like the bigger the star, the more likely they are to actually make it in studio. And we've had that in the past where maybe a small band or somebody who wasn't, you know, on their way up perhaps, had no interest in waking up and coming in studio if they're in town. But some of the bigger, like you say, legends of whatever field they're in have done. Tom Morello flew in to do an interview.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they're more used to it. They understand the impact.
Yeah.
Or
maybe it was maybe more important in their day as they were coming up.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, they're making Ric Flair fly all the way out here a couple days early and everything, too. And then he has to talk with us dorks.
Well, he gets to go to KQ as well.
Yeah.
So there's a positive.
So AEW Dynamite has a show tomorrow night.
Yes.
And the Nate is involved in AEW now. I believe it's his longtime, and we'll, of course, ask him about this, his longtime friend Sting is on his way out of the business. And how many times have we seen a wrestler come in and out of the business and, oh, Flair's one of them. Oh, you think he's all done? He comes back. Oh, this is it. He's really done now. He comes back. Never say never, but the word is that Sting is going to finally call it a career here in a few months. And I think Rick and AEW, he can clear it up for us, of course. They wanted Rick to be there and be involved in Sting's final few months in the business, which sounds pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps. Just because, they started out, and especially in this town, too.
Woo! What happened in this town?
Well, so many legendary matches between Sting and Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
And even I remember way back in the day when Sting didn't even have face makeup on.
Sure.
Steelers fan Jesus brings up a good point. You said goosebumps, Wapple.
Yeah.
He says, poor Flair, he's got to come here when it's cold as balls out. Yeah, it's not a great reception.
True.
But he's familiar with the area.
He
Ric
knows the
Flair
area.
doesn't feel cold. All right?
He's got that big fur jacket he'll wear.
Doesn't feel cold at all. So there you go.
And a lot of people are texting in saying there's no way he slept last night. He's probably been partying for a while.
Well,
Really?
you
That'd
know,
be fun.
He did say he'd wake up earlier than he wanted to, which was very cool.
you would think that things have changed a little bit, and maybe the man is now maybe trying at 74 years old. I think we found out yesterday. We looked it up. I mean,
Yep.
we all had a general idea of how old he was, but we weren't exactly sure. At 74 years old, maybe he's focusing on getting a decent night's sleep. I think the AEW people said he wasn't getting in town until late last night, so he probably isn't going on much sleep. We can ask him, of course. I wonder if he can still pull all-nighters. That was his thing back in the day. He could just go and go and go.
His saying was always, last one to leave the bar, first one in the gym in the morning.
Right. I remember
That's mine, too.
That sounds awful.
I remember an old Ric Flair story from one of the documentaries that was made about him. Or no, maybe it was from his autobiography. Because I read his autobiography. If he has more than one, I apologize, but there was a Ric Flair autobiography that came out. I'm going to just take a guess, 15 some odd years ago. Maybe you can look it up and tell me what it was called. I don't remember, but I think there was a story in the book where, back in his day, even once he reached, what might be considered the top of the business, they would still drive from city to city. And there was a lot of drinking and partying. And never got much sleep. You'd sleep for maybe, an hour. And then get in the car and you're off to Chicago or Kansas City or wherever you're headed. And I think the story was that Flair was just simply driving and his heart took off and was just racing. Now, I've had that problem in my younger days. An accelerated heartbeat. It's very scary. Suddenly, your heart is racing so fast you can't even count it. And so Flair's just simply driving a vehicle and his heart takes off. And if I remember right, I think Rick's adopted father was a doctor. And so he called and Rick was a young man still at this point. He calls his father and says, look, I was just sitting behind the wheel and now my heart is flying. What is wrong with me? And his father said, just tell me this, when's the last time you got more than 4 hours of sleep? And Rick said, I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean?
Ugh.
That was his life. Wild, all night, every night. And people are texting in, he's going to, will it be like like you just said, Josh, will it be like the old days? Will he be going on no sleep? Will he still be up from the prior night's party?
Wonder.
We'll see.
Folks are saying, like on his podcast and other podcasts, he says he's still doing it. He's still partying. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, I wonder if he'll bring in any strains of his Ric Flair drip marijuana. And if he does, Wapple, what if he says to you, hey, I brought in my premium weed. Let's light up right here.
I'd be like, yes.
Really? You would?
Yeah.
Honestly, if he said in studio,
Yeah.
you would?
Oh, yeah.
You do what he says. Yeah, absolutely.
You do what he says and worry about the consequences later.
Yep.
Exactly.
But what about this? He says, all right, fine. If you try my marijuana here with me, which I'd like you to do, your mom's going to ride Space Mountain.
Oh.
Right after your two sisters.
Sure.
You're offering them as a sacrifice?
Don't even think about
You
it.
will sacrifice the Wapple women.
I once had a relationship end because of how much I loved Ric Flair in college. It was my senior year. Spring break was around the corner. I was dating this girl who's just gorgeous, and she was going to Mexico, one of those tequila-filled spring break hotspots, with her friends, and she really wanted me to go. And I said, well, no, I can't go. I already have plans for spring break. She said, well, what are the plans? Can I go? I'm going to Orlando to see Ric Flair's last match at WrestleMania. And she gave me the look like, are you effing serious? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you'd rather go watch a grown man wrestle than go hang out with me in Cancun? I go, yeah, absolutely.
I'll be honest, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
If she's not going to be cool with that, like that's that big of a deal.
And she broke up with you for that very reason?
Yeah, just things kind of fizzled out after that. She came back from Mexico. I came back from Orlando. I had the time of my life. I'm guessing she did too, and things just kind of died after that.
Did she come back with cornrows and a bun in the oven?
If she definitely was wearing like the bracelet still, doing that move.
Oh, yeah.
That's spring break.
But I regret absolutely nothing because that was one of the best nights of my life.
Oh, yeah, that was the I love you moment.
Here's another positive for today. Butcher's Hack Jesus says, I wish Janelle was in studio to meet Rick. Yeah, our weekly guest, Janelle Klein, had never heard of Ric Flair.
This was a couple years ago
Yeah.
she made this comment?
And Nick, we were talking about this off air yesterday, and Nick mentioned that's when I had asked, are you an alien?
Yeah.
Because how have you never heard of Ric Flair? Everyone's heard of Ric Flair. So she will be in studio to meet Ric Flair.
Yes, she will.
God
That'll be
help
great.
her.
So fun.
God help that beautiful blonde.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
She's going to take the heat off you, Ashley.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
Josh was saying a minute ago about, listeners have been texting in, saying he's going to be partying, he's going to be up all night. That's Rick's style. It brings me back to probably one of the wilder broadcasts I've ever been involved in my career. And I don't know how many years we've been doing this now, Josh.
Close to 30. That's stupid.
And this was before you and I were together on the air. And I'm sure some of you have heard me tell this story, but if you want to talk about Ric Flair and the wild old days, and in this case, if you ask Ric Flair, he wouldn't even call this the old days. This was 1998. Rick started in wrestling in 1972, 3, 4, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you ask Ric Flair, he wouldn't even define these as the old days, but it was coming up on 30 years ago. If that's the correct math, someone help me. 25, 6 years ago. We broadcasted live from the front foyer, from the lobby. We broadcasted live from the lobby of Target Center for a WCW Monday Nitro show. Monday Nitro was in town. We broadcasted live from the lobby that morning. I'm sure we had some kind of massive ticket giveaway or something like that. But me and my partner at the time were awaiting Ric Flair and Gene Okerlund, the late, great Gene Okerlund, to join us that morning. And we were both pretty anxious, pretty nervous. We're big fans. And I think they were scheduled to be there at, 7:30. And at 7:38, we started to get a little nervous. Okay, where are these guys? And they came in the doors, and it was brutally obvious that neither one of them had slept a wink. Flair, it was beautiful. I almost started crying because they were loaded, and they had been up all night. And Flair, the doors just get kicked open, and he's just, woo! That nature boy! He's doing the whole thing. He's strutting, and it was chaos on air. Absolute chaos.
That's amazing.
But we had the time of our lives. It was everything we would have ever wanted. It certainly wasn't everything that our program director at the time wanted. But we couldn't get, I still have this on cassette tape somewhere. I kept that show because we used to record it every day on cassette tape. And I still have it somewheres. Maybe I can find it someday. Unfortunately, I did look for it last night and I couldn't find it. We couldn't get Rick to stop singing.
That's great. Anything in particular?
Yes. There was a certain slogan or phrase that he would not stop singing, and it was, and if you're a Ric Flair fan, you know this isn't wildly original. I think this is kind of something that Rick says over the years, but he kept singing, "We're gonna stay." I can't believe I'm going to do this, but this is what he was singing over and over again. "We're going to stay all night, stay a little longer, and the girls are going to dance all night and then dance a little longer." He just, and there's nothing we could do. We just let her buck.
I love it.
And every once in a while, Gene, now Okerlund, of course, being the straight man and the lead announcer, he would try to interrupt Rick and say, "That's right, tonight at Target Center, whatever, Scott Hall will be facing whoever, Eddie Guerrero." You know what I mean? Gene kept trying to bring it back to earth, but it was just impossible. It was, I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Do you think there's any chance with Ric Flair in town, and he doesn't have anything to do until tomorrow night, most likely, could he coach the Wild this evening? There's a vacancy.
There is.
I never heard the man say anything about playing hockey.
I wonder if he'll give a speech. He goes into different locker rooms and gives speeches to teams.
Boy, wouldn't that be something if the boys on the Pigs roster got that little treat? The new head coach might be saying, "Hey, let's keep the shenanigans to a minimum. Hell, it's my first day." But good idea, Josh. We've seen him do that a million times.
Just give him an opportunity to get out there for one period.
And, it goes back to what I was attempting to say, and I was having a hard time finding the words. It is hard to find the words to define the impact that this guy has had on all of sports.
Well, he's an icon.
I would say in the world.
Well, of course, that's what I mean, Wapple. I'm not talking about here in town.
I'm going to go further, Wapple. I'm going to say the galaxy. Yeah.
Well, you're saying beyond sports.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's why I was so shocked that Janelle had no idea who he was. And
well, she's an alien.
And she's Miss Pop Culture, too.
That is true. That's a good point.
Well, I don't know if she's Miss Pop Culture.
Well, she kind of likes to, when she doesn't call herself that specifically, but I think likes to say how much she knows about it.
She knows who's dating who. Yeah. But anyway,
she can tell you the backlash from Harry Styles recently cutting his hair. She's kind of into that stuff. She can tell you that.
Where I was going with this was, no matter how many years go by, when, like what Josh mentioned, when Flair goes into a football or a basketball team's locker room to make an appearance and give them a pep talk, it doesn't matter how many years go by. 19, 20, 21-year-old kids who are playing for these ball clubs, when he walks in the room, they all rise to their feet. They instantly know who this is and what it means to have him stop by. Where, the wheelhouse, if that's the right word, for, the age range for folks who saw Rick in his prime, and I hope he's not offended by that, in his prime, you know what I mean by that, are people my age. Mm-hmm. But still, 20-year-old, 19-year-old kids will go, "Jesus balls, that's Ric Flair."
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Like
after
I was saying,
all of this,
after
all of this, watch he cancels on us. We are the most canceled on morning show in the history of radio.
That crossed my mind,
really
but I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to speak it into the universe.
It never crossed my mind until right this second. Some people are like, "Okay, enough about Ric Flair." I guess you can't please everybody, but I think it's okay to be excited about something different for one day, is it not? Of
course it is.
Texting in some hate on it.
People are what?
Texting in some hate on it. They were
about
going too far with Ric
tell
Flair.
them to shut up.
Hey, real quick, Nick would like you to shut up.
You're going a little too far. Sorry, we're fans. Turn the station. Turn it to a different radio station. What the hell? What kind of boner kill, buzz kill? Let it go. You guys, shut up. And, if, in fact, the man calls and says, "I'm not coming in," here's what I'm going to do. You guys can handle things. I will drive home. I will find that cassette tape. And then we're going to dance all night, and we're going to dance a little longer. longer.
So were you, when that was going on, were you uncomfortable? Was it getting to that level?
Slightly.
Slightly. I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this audiobook right now, and the person who does it obviously makes a big difference, right? The voice person. And this guy's great. He's awesome. One of the best I've heard. And I listen to a ton of audiobooks. I even get awards for it on the app. It says, you achieved this award, you loser.
7 days in a row, you dork.
But just on my way in, he started kind of singing some parts, and it was very uncomfortable.
That secondhand embarrassment feeling.
I was like, I'm tempted to skip ahead, but I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, there were some. I was young enough, and I was young enough and new enough to the business, Josh, where I was thinking to myself, you know, what's the boss going to say about this? We've lost this. We've lost control of the program. And now I wouldn't care, and I haven't cared about something like that for decades. But back then, I thought, I was still in that mode where I thought, well, we have lost total control of this program. What is the boss going to say to us? In the end, I mean, I
sometimes that's fun, though, isn't it? When it goes off the rails.
Oh, it's beautiful. I let go. As soon as I listened to that tape later on that day, I said, well, Christ, what was I worried about? That was a riot.
The nice thing about having a boss that sleeps until 11 and then is hungover until about 3 p.m. is he's never up your butt about anything.
No, he doesn't. He has no idea what happens.
He's not one of those bosses that would like contact us during the show and say something like, hey, I think you guys should change the subject or something like that.
It's never happened. And we'd hang up on him anyway. What the hell do you know?
Just send him to voicemail.
We wouldn't even give him our number. You don't get this.
Well, there you go. We're quite pumped. And look at the time. I wasn't even looking at the clock. That's how much friggin' fun we were having. I wasn't even looking at the clock, but we got to get moving. So that's where we're going today. We're going to have the Nature Boy swing by around 7:30, and I don't know how long we're going to get a chance to keep him, but we're going to do our best to...
Don't let him leave. We do the show until 1 o'clock.
We're going to try to get all the Nate shot of them that we can. What else is going on? The Vikes had a gangbang last night that I'm sure we'll cover later, and all kinds of laughs. So we better take a break before we get that phone call from the boss that we wouldn't answer anyway. We'll come back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show.
Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett.
Where do the majority of UAP sightings happen?
Yeah, military installations, but I couch that. I mean, if they're going to fly here and check something out, they're going to see where our best and brightest are, I would assume. They asked me about seeing any UFOs in Washington, D.C., and I said, no. I said, there's no intelligent life around here.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I hear you. This will be fun. I think we'll have fun with this here. You guys already know this. I don't got to tell you jack squat about. People don't need much of a reason to be violent animals these days. This effing guy here. Josh, can I tell you about this guy?
If you want to.
He's a 53-year-old man, and I do want to. I do. He's a 53-year-old man in West Virginia with the name Dale Martin. He was arrested a day or two ago after allegedly trying to kill someone for, quote, eating all the tacos.
It's frustrating when you have leftovers you're looking forward to and somebody eats all of them.
That is devastating.
It's more insulting if they leave just like one chip in the bag.
Yeah. Did you say one of your kids used to do that to you?
Yes, I did.
Does he still do that to you?
He's been deceased now for a while. I asphyxiated him with a Cool Ranch Doritos bag.
I totally used to do that to my parents. I remember them getting really upset about that when I was younger.
What? I left you a chip?
Yeah, what are you talking about? It's not done yet.
I got hollered at for that. But I learned my lesson. The first time I wiped out an entire plate of pizza rolls or something, right, without considering anybody else, I got hollered at it to a point where I learned my lesson. My brother never did. He was completely content to wipe out all the leftovers while everybody went, when no one was looking. And it was an interesting contrast. When I did it, I got hollered at. When my brother did it, my folks would say, well, we'll make some more.
Oh.
I wonder why he had the special rule there.
Because he's a douche.
The douche clause.
Eating all the tacos. A guy got arrested. He tried to kill someone for eating all the victim of this nonsense must have been a roommate or something like that. He said that dumbass Dale saw that all the tacos were gone. Every last one of the tacos. Gone ski. Dickless Dale, Dale Martin, what did I say his name was? Yeah, Dale Martin. He became irate, a full-on pant wetting, when he saw that all the tacos were... He ran into a bedroom, and he came out with a .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. He did. The victim saw the gun, ran like hell for the upstairs, and Dale fired several shots at him. Luckily, never hit the guy. He hit the staircase, never hit the guy. So Dale has been charged with attempted murder. So long, Dildo Dale.
Think they have Taco Tuesday in prison?
Today is Taco Tuesday. We've got a couple taco stories for you.
Do you? Good.
I'm going to say maybe. Who knows? I bet they do a themed night every once in a while.
You got to keep things fresh. You got to, Here's how the story wraps up, and I have to say it's a real smart-ass, stupid way to wrap up what was a pretty good story. It says here, it's unclear what kind of tacos they were. They must have been delicious because it's hard to imagine anyone shooting someone over Taco Bell. Who in their right effing mind directs wise-ass comments at Taco Bell? Who do you think you are? All Taco Bell has ever tried to do is make us happy, and you're going to get cute with them like that?
How bougie do you have to be?
My first thought was, it must have been Taco Bell.
Right.
What?
This is worth shooting a man over for sure. I love Taco Bell.
Well, kiss my ass if you're going to go after Taco Bell like that.
Just rude.
It is rude.
Yeah, go ahead. Rip the Baja Blast. See what kind of blowback you get off that.
I mean, all Taco Bell has ever tried to do, in my personal experience, is fill me full of fast food for $2.17.
And they're always open, too.
And they're always open.
That was the greatest in high school, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, I'll take, give me 30 tacos in exchange for $3.
Right.
It's the best.
I once went to a Taco Bell on my way home from something. And I sat in the parking lot and ate my Taco Bell, and I got my fill. A lot of items, a lot of food, and then I'm driving home, and then I realized there's another Taco Bell on the way home, and I stopped for more Taco Bell.
Respect.
I got a buddy that did the same thing.
Yeah.
He is the biggest Taco Bell fan I've ever met. And that's any holiday, birthday, anything like that. That's what I get him is Taco Bell gift cards.
That's awesome.
Nice.
One of my buddies back in the day, I don't know if he can still do it, but you could have like random change in your pocket, like let's say $3.27. He would tell you exactly what you could get at Taco Bell to make your money.
Oh, is he like a finance guy now or something?
No, he's not at all. He fishes in Alaska once in a while in the summer. Yeah, but it was insane.
That's so cool. That's a cool talent.
Yeah, he just knew the menu that bad.
Now, as much as I love and adore Taco Bell for all that they do, common sense says that if people are behaving inappropriately, well, folks should have to answer to that, no matter who you are or who you work for. A former Los Angeles area Taco Bell employee is suing Taco Bell and a franchise owner. She claims a Christmas party at Taco Bell last year got way too wild.
I've never been to a Christmas party. Well, really any party that's gotten way too wild. Would you? Well, maybe would you count a bachelor party where some professionals were hired to come over?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what the professionals were hired to do before I defined it to be crazy.
Well, it was behind closed doors, and I know the type of professionals they were. I couldn't tell you how freaky things got.
Freaky.
Or deaky.
Or deaky.
And or deaky.
So a lady is suing Taco Bell and a franchise. She says the Christmas party came off the friggin' rails. She says folks got loaded off their asses, and there was sex happening out in the open at this here Taco Bell Christmas party. I'll be damned. She goes by the name of Alana. That's the name of the gal who has dumped this lawsuit on Taco Bell. In the lawsuit, she alleges that her supervisor invited her to the party back in December of 20 plus 22. The party was being thrown at the Taco Bell where she worked. She was encouraged to bring food for a potluck-style buffet, and her contribution was a bowl of guacamole. That sounds gross.
I love guacamole.
Nobody loves guacamole. When she got to the party,
I love guacamole.
Alana saw that her supervisor was covering the windows of the restaurant with some kind of paper.
And he was, hell yeah.
And he was also covering the security cameras.
Okay, that reminds me, I have been to a few wild parties. The covering the windows and paper reminds me of the old Fat Tuesdays at Mall of America, which was out of control. That daiquiri bar.
Oh, yeah. There was oral sex going on.
Yeah, there was a race. There was women lined up on the bar, and men were racing to provide an orgasm for these girls.
I love that.
And it was not an uncommon occurrence. I think it was New Year's Eve parties. They were crazy. I can't believe I forgot that.
Was there a specific
too many hurricanes?
Dude that,
I think. Sure.
A specific dude that held the title for that.
Held
like
the belt.
He was the best.
I don't know if there was a defending champion or anything. Why? Would you like his phone number?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did I leave off? Yeah, the boss there, the supervisor, was covering up the windows and covering up the cameras, the security cameras, as this Christmas party was kicking in.
That's when you know it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah, she must have been thinking, uh-oh, what the hell are we doing here? She claims her supervisor provided alcohol to the staff, several of whom were, quote, overserved. Around midnight, God help us, Alana claims she saw a coworker having sex with his wife in front of everyone at the party.
Gross. His wife?
Well, here's where the fun really kicks in for a guy like me. She says the coworker's wife, okay, she's being folded. The coworker's wife was also kissing a female manager of that Taco Bell and another female coworker at the same time.
Whoa, wow. She's having fun.
Talented.
A little guy, girl action for everybody. And I'm sure there's a taco joke available here somewhere, but I'm not exactly.
Oh, there's plenty, I'm sure.
Alana says she was shocked, disgusted, and outraged by the live sex show that was underway. She upped and ran out the restaurant, but she had to go back inside to fetch her disgusting guacamole bowl. Remember, she brought the guac. When she got back inside to grab the bowl, one of the folks involved in the Taco Bell live buy wife sex show, one of the folks that was involved in that scene, one of them was puking in her guacamole bowl.
Oh, not the guac bowl.
And what's the difference, some might say?
Sure.
I like guac too, Josh.
No one likes guacamole. Someone else who was in on the sex was also throwing up in a trash can when she walked back in. One person's throwing up in the guacamole bowl, one person's throwing up in the trash can. She reported the incident to Taco Bell Human Resources and a company called Alvarado Restaurant Group. That's the franchisee, if you follow that kind of talk. The manager and the coworkers involved in the sex pile were fired. Then she says after those folks were fired, she was threatened by some coworkers for, what's the term people Ashley uses?
Retaliation?
Snitching. She snitched, so she was threatened. She said someone broke her car window. It's been nasty. Been nasty.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been... She continued to work at Taco Bell for a while, but then she quit.
I think there'd be some very tough things being a business owner, small or large, but how would you like to get sued for something like that? You're not expecting a Taco Bell orgy when you own a Taco Bell, or you're the Taco Bell corporate, something like that?
Yeah, I hear you on that, Cubby.
I mean, how many memos do you have to send out? Now, please, if you would, don't bang your wife and a couple other chicks in front of employees at an official company party. Don't puke in a potluck guacamole bowl. You know, this is actually setting us up for disappointment. Our Christmas party is this Friday night. Oh. And it's going to pale, I'd imagine, pale in comparison to this.
Well, you guys will have to tell me all about it.
Lightly attended, as they usually are.
Lightly attended.
Yeah. I'll have to start something.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking about, like, everybody we work with, if there was one person that was, like, doing, like, what this wife was doing, banging everybody and kissing everybody, who it would be.
Oh, yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, someone popped in my head immediately.
Yep.
You have an idea.
I've got the guy and I've got the girl.
Oh, I only have the guy.
After hearing this story, you're picturing the guy and the girl from this building who might engage in live sex at our holiday party?
Yeah, most likely.
Nice.
I know we've got the same guy, Ashley. You don't have the girl, huh?
I've got someone now.
I'm picturing nobody. I can't picture that out of
I know a guy that can write down a couple of names.
I don't know anybody around here anymore except the 4 or 5 of you. All right.
Yeah, Ashley.
I've seen one of them in action.
You're writing down names of
the lady in action.
The likely sex people.
This was a hot tub party in 2002.
Oh, okay. You've written down a couple names here, Josh. Sure. I could at least see these people exposing themselves to the crowd. I don't know if they'd engage in sex, but I could see them just saying, "Hey, look at this." Could you see them doing the same thing, Josh? Just exposing themselves?
Well, the female portion I have seen go all the way. And there was women involved as well.
Oh, wow.
I'd imagine.
What the hell? You said 5 minutes ago, you said you'd never been to a wild party.
Well, I'm an idiot. I forgot about it. You know, for somebody like me, that's not wild, Nick. That is common.
So you're saying this was a party many years ago?
This was at one of the wilder... somebody you have a massive crush on, or at least you two used to before you're married, and now I know other women don't exist for you.
Other women? Yeah, never heard of them.
This is somebody you used to... She's wild, had this hot tub party. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
One of the jets in the hot tub was her boyfriend, Jetty, because he would get her off. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about.
She told me the jet was named Nick. But so you saw some kind of sex happening in the hot tub, including lesbian action?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been to a wild party, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I think that counts.
I used to hang out with her quite a bit, and she was unpredictable, to say the least.
I've been to some wild parties. You know what just came to mind? Because someone said, earlier you said, does a bachelor or bachelorette party count? Yeah, absolutely it does. It brings me back to a bachelor party years ago, and someone hired some girls to show up, and one of them, in the middle of the party, said, "You know, I'll masturbate for everybody here for $200. And we said, well, that's an interesting offer. You'll just kind of lay down and masturbate for the crowd? And she said, yeah, for $200. And then she went on to say, you know what would be really hot is if while I'm masturbating, while I'm putting on this masturbation show, if all of you guys started masturbating, and one of my buddies in the back said, yeah, I'll do it for $200. She didn't think it was that funny. He said, well, if you're going to get paid to, why wouldn't I get paid to man?
We've definitely had coworkers in the past that would be dead ringers for this type of activity at a Christmas party. There was the one, we've told the story before about a woman who, when we first met, she mentioned sometimes on her way into work while driving, she'll put a leg up on the dashboard and masturbate.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. That was the first time we ever met her.
That was the intro?
I think that was her first and last day, unrelated to that particular conversation, but she didn't last here very long.
There was a time or two where I thought she and I were going to do it.
Oh, the previous lady we were talking about?
No, the one you just brought up.
Oh, I don't think we didn't even know her. That was, remember she was.
But I still thought we were going to do it.
Oh, you still thought so?
Yeah. By the way, later on, that bachelor party story I was telling you, later on I said this out loud. I said, $200 coming up. All right, I know what you're going to say. Again, with the poor behavior at Disneyland. Folks can't keep it together at effing Disneyland anymore. Terrible things are happening over there. And there's a built-in joke somewheres in here for you, right from the get-go.
It's all over social media, that's for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Over at Disneyland, a naked guy was spotted on the It's a Small World ride.
You are correct. That is the number one joke on social media.
Good Lord, this sounds creepy. There's video going around of this guy. And they say here he was, quote, in the video, eerily lit in blue and pink lights, walking around nearly naked to the sound of children singing It's a Small World After All. Just like that's like the open to another terrible Rob Zombie horror movie. You know what I mean?
That's like a Dana fantasy right there.
Disneyland officials told the local television news that the naked dude... Oh, this is cute, too. So not only is he naked, he stepped out of the ride while it was moving. You following what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A park employee had to hit the brakes on the ride as soon as they saw what the hell was going on, so he's lucky he didn't get, smashed into pieces.
Yeah.
Folks were taking pictures of this puke bag. Maybe some of you have seen them already. I didn't see any pictures. He got arrested pretty quickly. The dude's clothes were found on the ride. I think I'd use some rubber gloves if I was going to handle that guy's drawers. He just got naked at Disneyland.
Yeah, what's been going on at Disneyland lately? Seems like a lot of stories about the mischief that goes on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it's so expensive these days that people feel like they're entitled to do whatever the hell they want.
I paid to take my pants off.
Josh has a picture of the naked guy walking around Disneyland on his computer. It looks like maybe he's masturbating.
I also noticed Josh has it as the background of his phone, too.
Yeah, it's a wallpaper everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that friggin' song stuck in my head now. It's a Small World After All. I think I remember how it goes.
I replaced pictures of my kids with this guy in my wallet.
Does it go like this, Josh? Does it go, it's a small world?
No, that's Blink 182, All the Small Things.
Dana, I know you like that band, and I have no idea why. I got to tell you a little story. This has got to be 15 years ago or so. We were all cruising in my buddy's cabin in Hayward, Wisconsin. We were approaching the Spooner Blows Bridge, so we were all pretty excited. Mm-hmm. And my buddy had made a mixed CD. How do you say that, Josh?
Mixed CD.
Mixed CD of hard rock, AC/DC. I remember because we listened to it so often. AC/DC, Walk All Over You, Josh. Badass song, right?
That'll get you going a little faster in that vehicle.
Metallica, Master of Puppets, Twisted Sister, The Kids Are Back. And after 4 or 5 of these rockin' songs, and we're all, we had some road sodas going. Don't call the cops. All of a sudden, all the small teens, true that, and everyone in the car said, "What in the hell is this?"
Just killed the vibe.
And the dude who was driving, who made the CD, said, "What, you guys?" And we said, "Turn this off now." Still to this day, when I hear that, my skin just crawls. The way the guy says it, all the he says teens, just like Ashley. Small teens. I just want to crawl into a hole.
Yeah, what you did was you conflated perhaps the most famous Disney song with a top 10 Blink-182 Hot 100 hit.
Sure. I know I did. I screwed that up.
They get confused often.
I'm never going to be able to hear that Disney song the same way or that Blink-182 song the same way.
Now, this effing guy, I know we're running low on time here, but I'll get through as much as we can, and then... This guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma, don't you know? He sounds like he's got some emotional highs and lows that he's trying to work through. because he's all over the damn place. Emotionally speaking, it seems to me. First things first, the other night, 1 o'clock in the effing a.m., he picks up a pipe and smashes open some beer coolers at the neighborhood Quick Trip. Smash. They must lock up the beer coolers. Maybe it's a bad neighborhood. I don't know. He smashes open the beer coolers with a pipe, grabs a couple cases of Steve Weisers. He runs out the joint. He jumps into his Land Rover, and he tears ass smooth out of sight.
I mean, depending on the Land Rover, like how new it is, he can afford beer on his own. I don't think, unless he's someone who just purchased the Land Rover and that's everything he's got.
Mm-hmm. Everything's tied up in that Rover.
And where the hell where does that outburst come from to do that out of nowhere? Smash open the beer.
Probably already drunk.
As the young people would say, bro. Right?
Yeah. Chill.
A few hours later, after I'm assuming the dude has crushed a few of those beers, a Land Rover being driven by the same dude was driven into and right through the front doors of a local grocery store. I mean, he blasted that vehicle right on through the door. Broken glass, ankle deep kind of a thing. Just smash the vehicle right through the...
He had his beer. Now he needs a little snack.
That's dramatic stuff right there. But now we see the man's gentle side. That's what I'm talking about, this emotional... He's having trouble reeling in his emotions. Once he destroyed the front entrance of the grocery store, he got out the vehicle, and he calmly drank one of his beers and chit-chatted with folks at the store until the cops showed up to take him to jail.
I gotta say, I was looking at pictures of the guy in the scene, and he looks like the type of dude that you just want to hang out and have a conversation with.
He looks like a fun-loving type of a fella.
Yeah.
And he's very sweaty. Whatever he was doing, he's very warm. I'll say that. But you're right, Josh. He looks like the kind of guy that would just be at your neighborhood beer hall, just
like a guy that you're excited to see when he walks in a room.
Yeah.
Or drives in a room, in this case, I guess.
And I respect the fact that you knew the cops were coming, he was in trouble, but he decided to have one more beer for the road. You know?
Yeah,
He's wanted to socialize.
He's just jaw-jacking. How's it going? Did you see the ball game last night?
Did you see that guy that went through the front of your store? That was crazy, wasn't it?
So, again, I think he needs to work on some things emotionally. Prison probably isn't the best place for that, but that's where he's headed. And I think I have time for one more. Okay. Put that over there, Josh.
Yeah, you slammed it.
So you know that's
right there.
Oh, it's not always fun in games when you see a grown man in a chicken suit. Not always fun in games. Usually when you tell me if I'm wrong, when I see a grown man and I see that he's thrown on a chicken suit, to me, it means you're about to get a good deal on a dinner.
Yeah, I would assume you're talking outside of a Chick-fil-A or something like that.
Yeah. At the American Legion in Wayzata, when we have our broasted chicken on Friday nights, second Friday of every month, our boss over there, Vinny, he's taken now, Josh. You know Vinny. You've met Vinny.
Many times.
My buddy Vinny. He's taken to now putting on a full chicken suit and walking around the restaurant, walking around the bar to make sure everyone's got everything they need.
That is awesome.
He was sweating his bag off a couple of Fridays ago, but that's how dedicated he is to the gig.
You said he's the boss?
Yeah.
Now, I have an idea why he didn't ask you and will not ask you to get in that chicken suit.
Because he knows I almost killed a child?
That last time you were in a chicken suit,
yes.
You stepped on a poor kid's air hose.
Yes, I did.
Caused alarms to go off. He turned a shade of blue.
Oh, no.
The nurses in attendance were ready to fry you up like a chicken.
Straight out of a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds like a bit from a comedy movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a John Cena movie. And he's out there to really put a smile on the kids' faces.
Doesn't even realize he's killing the kid.
By the way, that is a true story. That really happened.
If folks don't know the story, this is decades ago, and we were asked to go along with a member of the Minnesota Viking at the time, Kelly Wang. What the hell was his name?
Kylie Wong.
Kylie Wong, nice guy. We were pals with him when he was playing for the Vikings for a short period of time, and I don't know why he asked us to come to the hospital to greet some children. It was very...
It was Wong's Wishes. That was the name of his charity. And so he would do that kind of thing. And he was our regular Viking, so we hung out with him. And super nice guy. I mean, didn't last too long, but he would do that kind of stuff a lot.
I felt uncomfortable about the whole thing just because I thought these kids don't know who the hell we are and they don't care. And
I felt the same way. You've got a Minnesota Viking there and then a couple dudes from the radio.
Yeah, but Kylie had asked us, and of course, if in fact we can help in any way, of course. But I felt funny about it. And plus, I was wildly hungover. Oh, my God, was I hungover. I felt like garbage.
You were sweating before you got in that chicken suit.
Yes, I was so sick.
There's nothing better for a hangover than the bright lights in a hospital.
But then there was this chicken suit available. And somebody said, who wants to put on the chicken suit to kind of entertain the kids? And I said, well, I do, because I felt funny I felt out of place. So if I was to hide my face and just, sure, I can dance around like a cartoon chicken and try to get some laughs from these kids. Wait, and look at me. I'm so hungover, I look like garbage. So I put on the chicken suit. We walk into some kid's room, and the kid's got some air tubes and whatnot running into him. He's in real trouble. And I got my big fake chicken feet, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm nervous, and I'm hungover, and I'm standing on this child's oxygen tube. And Josh wasn't kidding. Suddenly, all the alarms start going off on his devices that are keeping him alive. Beep, 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 beep. And I'm looking around like, who's the jackass? We need to get a nurse in here. There's something wrong with this kid. Oh, it's me. I'm standing on the air tube. The kid was fine. I'm not trying.
He's a vegetarian now, though. You've turned him off of all meat products.
Right. And then I'm so embarrassed by this, I step out of the kid's room. And then I realize my body temperature has skyrocketed in this friggin' suit, and I'm going to pass out in the hallway. Right? Josh came out. I had torn the chicken head off of myself, and I'm bathing in the water fountain.
And there's a nurse helping you.
Yes.
She races away from the sick kids, and she runs to help you.
So on top of almost killing a child, I almost overheated and killed myself with this terrible overhang in this massive chicken suit. We got back in the station vehicle. We cranked up the Blink 182. We got the hell out of there. All right, so here's this. Like I was saying, it's not always fun in games when you see a grown man in a chicken suit. And in this case here, the grown man also ate a fistful of magic mushrooms before he pulled on that chicken suit. And that's when all hell cut loose in a neighborhood down there in Georgia. A local sheriff said a few nights ago a woman called in to report that her ex-boyfriend had, quote, basically gone nuts on mushrooms and was beating on passing by cars and screaming and hollering at them while wearing a chicken suit.
That's a bad trip.
Cops drove over to that area. There they saw the guy, 47-year-old fella named Jason Pinch. He's walking around the vehicle. That doesn't make any sense. He's walking around the neighborhood, pounding on vehicles with his fists. He's wearing what the cops described as a yellow onesie-style pajama outfit meant to resemble a chicken. He continued to beat on passing cars. He even tried to beat up the patrol car once they pulled up on him.
Did you post this yesterday? Ashley, I think you did. Yeah.
When the cops talked to him, he asked them if they were real and if he was real.
It's important clarification.
After he was taken into custody, he continued to ask the cops if they were real. And he asked them, quote, "Am I lying in my hammock at home?"
No, buddy. No,
He
you're
wasn't.
not.
He was not. Oh, this is cool. Officers lit the guy up with a taser just for laughs, too.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And he was arrested.
Fried chicken, fried!
Is this real life?
Not real life.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dobbs protected and picked by Jalen Johnson. Dobbs too hot and on the deflection and interception by Brisker. It was off the hands of Addison, and Brisker is there for the takeaway. 4th down and 3. And this one up in the air and picked off by Edwards. This one is intercepted by Chicago. And Kyler Gordon Fields pulls out. Sheldon Day is there. Metellus knocked it out. End zone. Hawkinson. Touchdown. Play clock at 4. Good snap. Good hold. Good kick.
Bears are back on top with 10 seconds to go. And underneath, here we go. Osborne makes the initial catch, and that ball's out. Madison laterals. Osborne back in control.
Yeah, this is entertaining. It's not going to count, but heck, keep it rolling.
And with the Benny Hill music playing in the background, this game is over, thankfully.
I acknowledge it, man. I'm frustrated with myself because it starts with me, as I said, and I'll be better from it. I'll learn from every single one of them tonight, and we'll use it to build momentum into the next opportunity.
Very crushed locker room right now. Type of atmosphere it was. Did not have the performance we wanted to have offensively. Credit Flo and his guys once again for keeping us in a football game that we had no right being in with how poor we played on offense with the turnovers. Until we figure out a way to play complementary with our defense, get a little bit more production without having the ball turned over on offense, we're not going to win football games.
The Vikings were so bad last night, the Wild fired Dean Evison.
I don't think those two things were related.
I'm no big NFL fan anymore. I don't watch the ball games very thoroughly anymore, but I watched last night's Monday Night Football game between the Vikings and the Bears, and I had a friggin' blast.
Why does it always have to be a national game where we look that bad?
Yeah, seriously.
I was kind of, towards the end, the Bears did everything in their power to allow us to win that game.
Right.
Allow the Vikings to win that game. And I was upset with myself. Why did I stay up? I should have just went to bed at halftime.
I went to
switched
bed.
the channel. But you did?
Yep.
But you missed the best play of the game. That final play was very entertaining.
What a goat rodeo.
Yeah, I told the boyfriend, I was like, I'm going upstairs. He's like, you don't want to watch the rest of the game? And I was like, honestly, this is just so bad. I can't watch
The
this.
final play was hilarious.
That was really funny.
I love that Joe Buck made the Benny Hill comment.
Yep.
They got beat by the Bears. Fumbles were happening. Interceptions up and down. That you guys know that's my type of football game.
Was the offensive line that bad, or was the Bears' defense that good? I never know how to determine which way that goes.
That's a good question, Cubby. They were getting run over.
Yeah, they didn't look the same.
The Pasternaut didn't have a hell of a lot of time before somebody was crawling up his shirt collar. What happens next? They got a bye week. They got a week to stir on this. From what I understand, the Vikes got some time off now, but that was kind of an ugly deal last night. But I like ugly deals. Here's the deal. What did I say a minute ago? Yeah, the Pigs, they fired a couple of coaches yesterday. Head coach Dean Evison and an assistant coach by the name of Bob Woods. They've hired a new guy, John Hines. No word on Bob Berglund.
Well, they're a good team. Hopefully they bring Bob along.
The Wolves and Thunder tonight. Look, in about a half hour, Ric Flair will be in studio. We're very excited. Janelle Klein's going to be here too. Randy Shaver. We don't know if we'll have a hell of a lot of time to cover everything that's going on in sports because a very special guest, Ric Flair, in about a half hour. We're going to cut over and hit Josh's news report next.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ray Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
What am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do? Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
That's really messed up. People go there thinking they're going to help help other people.
A popular Connecticut party planner with a secret fetish for women's abdomens allegedly crafted a creepy fake medical study which allowed him to caress and photograph women's stomachs for nearly a year. The test took place at an office for Vivid Events, which provides DJs and other services for parties and celebrations. 35-year-old Brian Casella stated that throughout his life, he's found a way to satisfy his fetish, and has compensated people with money to perform examinations, quote unquote, on them. He would use various instruments as well as his own hands and ears to manipulate and listen to their stomachs. During these sessions, he would record and photograph the female victims, and following the sessions, he would compensate them with cash payments, sometimes in thousands of dollars. In one instance involving an employee of his in-demand events company, Vivid Events, he seized on an opportunity to exploit her digestive issues, which greatly limited her day-to-day life. Knowing his employee was also working odd jobs in order to save for a home with her husband, Casella allegedly offered to sign her to a vague clinical trial, which would pay her up to several $1,000s for allowing him to record the sounds made by her tummy. He asked her to sign a contract preventing her from talking about the study specifically with his wife or her coworkers, who he said would be jealous of the extra money she was making.
You have to promise you don't bring this up to my wife. That's great.
He used various tools to make the study seem more realistic, including electric patches and sonograms, taking advantage of the opportunity to place the objects in close proximity to their genitals. He initially used a stethoscope to listen to the woman's exposed abdomens, but quickly ditched the tool in favor of placing his bare ear on their stomachs. The alleged scheme ended when investigators said they found a hard drive containing several recordings and photographs of unidentified female victims.
We're able to get video and photographs of other victims. They know that there's multiple victims out there. They know that he utilized Craigslist to find other victims.
Casella admitted he was lying to people while conducting such examinations so he could satisfy his abdominal fetish, and stated he knew it was wrong.
That's a new one for me, Josh.
I haven't heard that either.
No.
I mean, besides like the part where you said like he was putting stuff like closer to their genitals, somebody wanted to listen to my stomach for a while and give me some money, I think I'd be okay with that.
I think I hear a future fart in there. What is that?
Oh, no.
A Florida lawn care and pest control worker was arrested twice for allegedly exposing himself to customers while inside their homes. The Polk County Sheriff's Office said they first arrested 27-year-old Tyler Mountain last Wednesday after a 76-year-old woman reported him for exposing himself. Investigators said the incident happened October 26 when Mountain, an employee of Massey Services at the time, was supposed to be giving the woman an estimate for pest control work. Hey, you got a cockroach infection here.
Oh.
Not infection, infestation. That's different. According to the sheriff's office, the victim said Mountain left her bathroom with his genitals exposed.
No, he didn't.
Saying his zipper was broken and he needed her help.
Yeah.
During the investigation, a detective learned Massey Services fired Mountain after getting the woman's complaint. However, the sheriff's office said the company confirmed that was the second time he was accused of exposing himself to a customer. The sheriff's office said another victim told a detective Mountain was supposed to be working on her lawn when he exposed himself, and again said his zipper was broken.
And he needed help with it.
This man used his work position to gain access to the homes of these women and then sexually exposed himself, America's most charismatic sheriff, Sheriff Grady Judd, said. This behavior is disgusting and predatory, he said.
Yeah, it is.
He was charged with lewd exhibition in both cases. Speaking of Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd,
yes,
the most famous crime-fighting elf is back this holiday season. The Polk County Sheriff's Office announced earlier this month, Grady Judd, Santa's Sheriff on a Shelf, is available now.
You effing love this guy.
I do love that guy.
You should buy one.
You can only buy him in person.
Yeah, you got to go. I'd imagine you go in, you give your name, and then they arrest you if you've got a warrant.
Oh, I bet,
Oh, definitely.
Do you think he knows he has all these fans way up here in Minnesota?
Yeah. Oh, he knows.
He knows? How does he know?
He's nationwide.
Is he?
People know about this.
Oh, I
guy.
wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find his bobbleheads. I can find them online, but they go for like $120.
Dude, get the hell out of here with that.
A woman was arrested Saturday in Miami for allegedly stabbing her boyfriend in the eye with 2 rabies needles. Apparently, he was looking at other women.
Rabies needles?
Yeah. 44-year-old Sandra Jimenez is facing an aggravated battery charge for the attack. Police say it was over an ongoing argument with her boyfriend about him checking out other chicks.
He's checking him out. He's married, not buried.
Jimenez allegedly jumped on top of her boyfriend, who was lying on a couch in their Miami home, and stabbed him in the right eyelid with a rabies needle. That was for the dogs.
God dang.
She then left after realizing what she had done, police said, and the victim called police, was transported to a hospital, and said that she actually stabbed him with 2 needles. Officers later found Jimenez sleeping in her car, took her into custody. She allegedly told police that her boyfriend's injuries were self-inflicted.
He stabbed himself in the eye.
Yeah, rabies needles.
How's he doing? Can he ever use that eye again to check out chicks?
It didn't say whether or not it was permanent. I'm going to guess they probably would have put that in there if they blinded the poor fellow.
Oh, I bet that hurt, though, Cubby.
Oh, I can't even imagine. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials say a shipment of packages marked as vaginal tightening gel was seized last week at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
Is that a real thing?
I guess. The shipment, which arrived last Monday from Hong Kong and was bound for your mom's house, contained 2,536 syringes filled with the gel.
Oh, that was cold.
The agency said yesterday the pink packets appeared ready for resale. Had these items been sold, they say the total domestic value, more than $19,000. The items were seized for violating the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. According to the agency, it was the first time customs officials intercepted this type of product in Minnesota.
Vaginal tightening oil? What
Gel.
did you say? Gel.
It is a thing.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing.
Kind of spendy.
That doesn't make any sense.
How much could I get some for?
$50.
For how much? How many vaginals could I?
Looks like it's just an 8-ounce bottle, so I don't
What,
know.
are you feeling a little loose down there, Cubby, or what's going on?
No.
I guess it depends on how much you apply at a time.
That's worrisome.
Understood. What's worrisome?
I can't figure out how that would even work. It must just like make everything swell. That doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah, I don't know.
That depends on who you are.
I wonder at what point do you need that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when do you make that decision?
If you walk out on a windy day and it sounds like a flag in the background whipping back and forth.
You son of a bitch.
Maybe then you try.
Oh, my God.
Or an old abandoned house with like that plastic film over the windows.
Yeah.
The wind comes through and just flops it around.
Sleeve of Wizard, I think, was the slogan.
The first time I heard that, I almost died.
What was his name again?
Borat.
Borat, yeah.
A spokesperson said no arrests have been made, but they do know the vaginal tightening gel was intended to arrive at a Woodbury residence. That's not a joke. That's the truth.
Wapple.
Woodbury.
Yeah, that's how I know so much about it, guys.
He didn't Google anything. He knew it out the top of his head.
It sure seemed like you were pretty familiar with what was going on there.
Yeah, I got the limited edition strawberry.
They seem
Flavored, huh?
Yeah.
They seem like the neighborhood that would need that kind of thing, the Woodbury neighborhood.
I got to speed this up. We got a special guest coming in studio. If you missed it, Ric Flair, wrestling legend Ric Flair is going to be in studio in about 10 minutes. Police in Indiana arrested a man they said had drugs and a gun tucked in his butt. It started with a traffic stop for a dim license plate light. One of the passengers was 32-year-old Christopher Boyd Jr., who police say, while being searched, was found with a small bag of multiple pills in his sock. He stated the pills were from his Aunt Trish for a lodged bullet in his spine and believed they were Percocet.
Hell of a story.
When asked why there were 2 different kinds of pills, though, he claimed his Aunt Trish must have got her medication mixed up. He also stated he couldn't spread his legs too far due to the injury while officers searched his groin area, but they noticed that Boyd was clenching up, especially on the backside. He claimed he didn't have anything stuffed in his butt, but he sure did. At the jail, officers said Boyd appeared to be clenching his buttocks while walking. A body scan detected a large object up there, and a further search turned up 2 bags with a green leafy substance, and they found a handgun in between his butt cheeks.
Yeah, that's where he kept the handgun. He's putting a lot of this on Aunt Trish.
Yeah, she didn't deserve that.
I bet she doesn't appreciate any of that.
Also in Indiana, a man's in jail after being accused of pulling a gun on someone as they were coming out of a porta potty. The victim told police they were using a porta potty near a car dealership Sunday while car shopping.
That sucks.
And several men surrounded him when he came out. The victim told police one of the men was threatening to fight him for trespassing, and the other man pulled a gun. Police say they took several people into custody and questioned them, including 58-year-old David Townsell, who matched the description of the man with the gun. He claimed he didn't have a gun on him or in the building, and he claimed that the victim was the aggressor. However, when police told him, that's fine, we'll just get a search warrant, he admitted to having a Glock inside the building. Police say they found that gun and made the arrest.
It's bad enough you got to press one out at a porta potty at the friggin' car dealership because you had too much to eat the night before, whatever the problem was, and you got derelicts trying to rob you and things like that.
He's coming out of there going, oh, what a relief.
Yeah.
The day is so much better.
Then you get robbed. It's not right.
Text ribbon, 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 to the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, 651-989-9393. You'll get a shot to win tickets to the 93X Nutcracker, featuring the likes of Falling in Reverse, Sleep Theory, and Family Guy MILF Lois Griffin's favorite artist, Daughtry, who in a recent episode recorded a shirtless cameo video for her after her husband, Peter, screwed up their anniversary.
As Chris Daughtry says, I'll try to do it right this time. It's not over.
Hi, Lois. Your husband Peter wanted me to tell you they'll try to do it right this time, and it's not over.
Oh, if he was wearing that straw hat, I would have wet myself.
I think 2 or 3 times this season they've referenced Daughtry.
They have a couple times.
And how much Lois absolutely loves Daughtry.
She's a big fan. I thought she was a Kiss fan. Maybe she's both.
Well, she got the lyrics wrong for Kiss. Remember, everybody was mad.
Oh, boy, yeah. The
Fake
whole
Kiss fan.
The whole crowd
Yeah.
came a little bit undone. That's
But
hilarious.
Daughtry will be here with the 93X Nutcracker. That's happening next Friday at the Armory, and this prize is furnished by Live Nation.
Someone should wear are there Lois Halloween costumes out there or something?
Oh, there's got to be, right?
Yeah,
I bet he'd get a kick out of that.
Don't you think? Wild goalie Marc-Andre Fleury, 39 today.
The animal, they call him.
Westworld, Apollo 13, The Firm, The Right Stuff, The Rock, NDBS star, Ed Harris, 73. I like Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, you mean from The Right Stuff?
I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. You enjoy the work of Ed Harris?
Well, sure.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
He's very good.
Pretty good. Former Late Show band leader / Dave's sidekick, Paul Schaefer, 74. Congratulations to Can't Decide on a Sheezus named Sheezus. 2 years sober today. That's awesome.
She can't decide on a name?
She can't.
Well, how about vaginal tightening oil, Jesus? We were just talking about vaginal tightening oil. Think about that one. Get back to us.
That's from Doberman's, Harleys, and Handguns, Jesus. And then happy birthday to Stink Bug, Jesus, from Brewery Fixin' Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
This guy is beautiful.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in a preseason like it's bullshit? Bullshit. We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
How is that so good every single time?
Awesome.
All right, I hear Randy Shaver. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
I see Jungle Jane over there across the way. Hello, Janelle Klein.
Good morning.
But I don't see, but you know who I don't see? I don't see the Nature Boy. Dana is
any
actually...
Update? Wapple, any update at all?
Still haven't gotten an update yet. Dana's waiting for him out front.
But we
Dana's
haven't heard from anybody at all?
Not yet.
Uh-oh.
We were expecting a visit from Ric Flair this morning. We had a email message yesterday with the folks at AEW. You know, they're in town tomorrow night for a show. It's Target Center, right, Wapple?
Yes, it is.
We're expecting to see Ric Flair at some point this morning. We haven't seen him yet.
Wapple, are you going?
I wish I could, but these weekday shows, they all suck.
What do you mean by
Shaver.
you mean the schedule?
Yeah.
Not the show itself.
Like our schedule, their
Yeah.
schedule, there's just so much to do at night. That
We
it's
can
tough.
never do much on weeknights, Randy Shaver. It's a real pain in the ass. Where the hell are you?
I am sitting in Palm Springs, California.
Oh, I bet we've got similar weather. What's it like out there?
It's going to be about 75 today.
Ooh, perfect.
Well, God help us. It's 5:30 in the morning over there. Are you okay?
I'm just fine.
Well, what are you doing in Palm Springs? Can you tell us? Or is it a special story?
Oh, it's not a story. I'm here with Roseanne. We're just hanging out.
What?
It's been a week, just kind of chilling. So.
Why didn't you just can't bond with the rest of us, can you? Why didn't you take a week off when we took a week off?
I did take a week off when you took a week off.
Oh, you got 2 weeks off? Nice.
Guy just gets nothing but time off. Meanwhile, Janelle's probably going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama later this morning to cover a train accident or something.
Yeah, a train full of orphans who were all recently adopted on their way to meet their new families.
When's Janelle's ship going to roll in? You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been asking that question for a very long time.
Janelle's going to get a call in about an hour, and they're going to say, have you ever been to Traverse, Indiana? Because there's been a flood. What the hell happened in that ball game last night, Randy Shaver? Can you put your finger on that?
My goodness. Were you able to watch it there?
I did. I watched.
Oh, it's Monday Night Football. Of course you could. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I got in front of a TV at just after halftime.
Okay.
So I did not see the first half, but I mean, I didn't have to see the first half to understand what was going on because with all the turnovers and the score, I think when I picked it up, the score was 6-3 or 9-3, one of the two. So that looked like a 1970s Central Division, Black and Blue Division score.
Right.
So it told me all I needed to know. Josh Dobbs, obviously not very good until the drive that put him ahead, 10-9. I mean,
not all of those interceptions were his fault.
Understand.
Correct.
But
Very true.
Right.
There, as I said before, when they signed the guy, there is a reason why he's been with 7 different teams. And I'm not saying he can't be a good quarterback. I'm not saying that, but I just don't think he's the future of this franchise.
Well,
and everybody was so excited. It was almost Nick.
Yes.
Nick, it was almost better when he didn't know the playbook.
Yeah, I told you he was just playing out there. Maybe he's thinking too much.
It's almost better when he didn't know what the hell was going on.
I didn't even consider that. That.
Than right now.
There's
but
something
anyway, I mean, you just knew they were going to lose the ball game on that last drive. They gave the Bears too much time. Fields is a pretty decent quarterback. He's going to make some things happen. It's a hell of a throw to Moore.
Oh, that big throw that he made to put him in field goal position was a beautiful throw.
Hell of a throw. So
Josh indicated that he didn't really enjoy himself last night watching the ball game.
Until the final play, that was greatly entertaining.
The final play of the game was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
I was so ridiculous.
And it kept going. That was the best part.
What's the music that they always play with?
Benny Hill.
Yes, exactly what was going through my head.
Oh God! Did you not hear Joe Buck's final statement on the game?
Yeah, this is what
I didn't hear any audio. No.
This is what he said.
Listen to what. Yeah.
And with the Benny Hill music playing in the background, this game is over. Thankfully.
That was a riot. Even during that final play, Troy Aikman says into the mic, "This is hilarious."
It was hilarious, and I also said, as I was sitting there, there were a few people around me when we were watching it, and I just said, "Oh my God, this is embarrassing." I mean, it was just, what are they doing?
It was.
Just give it up.
It was so silly, and you couldn't help but laugh. And they lose to the Bears by a couple of points, so now they're a 500 ball club. But the amount of turnovers, the interceptions was a little ridiculous.
Right.
I love that kind of football. I love when the football is spraying around the field like it was shot out of a super soaker. That's what it. Right, Josh? A couple of the fumbles on Josh. Is his name Josh Fields? What's the name? The quarterback?
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
A couple of the fumbles, one of the fumbles that Justin Fields had just shot across the ball field. That's
it was
fun.
remote controlled or something.
It was an ugly, goofy game. What were some of the comments on social media? Monday Night Football fans were not pleased with what they saw last night. Some of the comments were entertaining. One individual watching last night's game said, "This is the most Thursday night football, Monday night football game I've ever seen."
I was just going to say, that game last night could have sent Al Michaels to retirement.
Another football fan said, my main takeaway from tonight's game is thank God I'm not a fan of either team. And one other individual said, this is one of those games where you drive home in absolute silence.
Yes.
So there you go.
I was thinking that as well. All those people who spent all that money to go to that game thinking this is their chance to get back into the chase, and then to lose to the Bears on prime time at home. It's just awful.
Didn't expect that.
Awful.
I really didn't expect that at all.
But, Nick, you and I are cut from the same cloth. It's enjoyable at the same time.
It was. It was fun. Oh, my goodness. Randy Shaver, you're not going to believe this.
Oh, this is so cool.
I'll give him some time to get settled. What an absolute thrill this is for all of us. Many of our listeners, too, of course. We got an email yesterday. Randy and Janelle, from AEW Wrestling, who's in town tomorrow night at Target Center for their Dynamite show. We got an email yesterday, and they said, how would you like to have the dirtiest player in the game in studio? How would you like to have the 16-time world heavyweight champion Ric Flair in studio? And we immediately said yes, and the man has just strolled into our studios. We're getting them all plugged in and ready to go. Janelle Klein.
Finally, Janelle.
Finally, Janelle gets to sit side by side. Can you hear us yet, Rick?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I would have come just to meet Janelle.
We thought she'd be the highlight for your trip.
Forget about AEW. Jesus. What a way to start the day, Janelle. Woo-woo.
Oh, no.
You think she knows who the Nature Boy is?
She knows who the Nature Boy is. You want to know how she knows, Rick? Because we've told her all about you.
Yeah, but to know me is to love me, baby.
Thank you so very much for coming in, Rick. This is a huge thrill for all of us.
Thank you.
And the first question we have for you. Well, first off, did you see last night's football game?
I did.
You're a big football fan.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Was that a disaster or what?
That would be a disaster.
Yeah. But when we mentioned you were coming on earlier this morning, and you have so many fans in our listening audience. Folks, one of the first things they started texting us was, does Ric Flair still party all night? Will he sleep before he makes an appearance on our radio show?
Not much.
Not much. You got in late?
No, I actually got in at a decent time, and I was at the Marriott, which, a conservative property, so I didn't really leave. I did actually go to bed like about 12.
Okay. Because people were saying, the Nature Boy can still go all night and go a little longer if he wants to.
Absolutely. Janelle and I will discuss this evening when we're off the air.
You and Janelle might
I'd actually like to hear that conversation right now.
I brought my Black American Express. We're good to go, girl.
You've got some coffee?
No limit on that thing.
None. And I just happen to have my new mink coat on, so
you look gorgeous in your new mink coat. We talk about you a lot on this program, Ric Flair. We do.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Actually,
I hope some of it's reasonably good.
It's all fun. It's always fun talking about Ric Flair. I was telling a story earlier, and I'm sure I'm guessing you don't remember this. One of the great thrills of my career earlier, 7 years ago, I think, when we started on this program. It must have been 23. It was like 98 or 99.
Mm-hmm.
We broadcasted live from the lobby of Target Center.
Oh, sure.
For a WCW Nitro. You and Gene Okerlund came and sat in with us on our broadcast, and it was one of the most fun mornings we have ever had on this program.
And I did. I wrestled Sting that night.
And Sting...
And Luger made his return.
You remember the specifics of that night?
Oh, sure.
Wow.
You and Gene came into the building, and it was very clear, at least to me, that neither one of you had slept. And you had partied all
night. No. Me and Gene?
Doesn't sound right.
Two boys from Minneapolis.
And we had
We were probably at Lord Fletcher's until 4 a.m. or Manny's or Murray's or.
It was a riot. It was a riot. And now I think it's been that many years, whatever it was, 22 years since we've had you in studio. So again, thanks so much.
No, thank you.
And you mentioned Sting now.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sting the reason why you're involved with AEW? You kind of wanted to be there with your pal as he's heading towards retirement. Is that what's going on, Rick?
Yes. Yeah. Very much so. I mean, he's one of the really true, and once again, we pass the word great around a lot more freely than I feel like we should, but he is an icon and generally one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and such a great pleasure to compete against. And when Mr. Khan called me and said, would you like to be part of this, I couldn't possibly have said no. And I like, as you know, I like being busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have the hardest time sitting home.
Well, obviously so.
It's like trying to hold these alligators down.
How much are those alligators going for nowadays?
Oh, these right here were like $2,800.
$2,800?
Dang.
Holy cow.
I wore them for her. Did you want to feel this right here?
Later. Yeah.
Now, so much time has gone by, Ric Flair. How much were those alligators the first time you bragged about the price?
Oh, God. Probably like $600. You're talking about the 80s? Yeah, everything was different.
Yeah, oh yeah. Long time ago.
I've had a few of them.
That's great. That's a great story that Sting gets to have you there, as he's closing in on retirement.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, right? I mean, he still is so physically in such great, amazing shape and can do, I would say 75 to 80% of what he could ever do in terms of stuff in the ring. Mm. But, everybody knows that they find a time in life when it's time to walk away, and that's the biggest problem in my life. I just can't walk away from it. I mean, anytime I have a chance to be around it, I watch it avidly, and, of course, my daughter is kicking butt over with the WWE, so
yes.
I just feel like I'm very fortunate to be able to walk in the doors here and feel the reception and the warmth of a guy like Tony Khan, who couldn't be nicer, and I mean, truly a true gentleman in our business. And I'm still able to walk in the door over there to watch my daughter compete, and everybody. Mm-hmm. People have allowed me, I guess, hopefully because of my work ethic and what I've accomplished, to enjoy this moment without resenting me. Coming over here for a while.
Sure. The business has changed in that way, hasn't it, Rick, where you can kind of toggle back and forth and there's not any hard feelings like maybe in the old days?
I don't know. I don't know if it's changed that much, but if anybody is upset, I don't know why they would be.
Right.
I certainly haven't heard it from them, and I remain good friends with so many people over there. To be my age and be able to be involved with both and have a nice relationship with them is a very, very unusual circumstance in our business.
We've had your daughter in studio, too, before. Ashley, otherwise known as Charlotte.
Yeah,
and,
the queen.
Yeah, absolutely. She was so much fun and such a nice person. And, Josh, you probably remember this. Remember, we asked her, if there's one word that could sum up what it's like being the daughter of Ric Flair. She said the one word was love.
Yeah.
She did. It was a very sweet thing that she said.
I'll start crying.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
No, she's my angel, man. Everybody's got to have an angel, right?
Janelle, cheer him up.
All he's got to do is... One of the things...
Janelle's already got my number. And I've got hers, most importantly. We just slid him under the table here.
One of the things that we love to play on this program, I mentioned that we talk about you a lot, Rick, and one of the bits of audio that we love to play on this program, because I just feel it was one of the most hilarious things I'd ever seen on television, Randy Shaver, you already know what I'm talking about, don't you?
The woo-off.
When you and Kurt Angle and Triple H had the woo-off, the gimmick infringement, I don't know how many years. We play that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The one with Kurt or one with Jay Lethal?
With Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Angle is back on Raw, baby. Woo!
He just doing woo. He did.
Nobody says woo around here except me. Woo! 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 Enough! Hey, that's gimmick infringement, and you know it.
I mean, that was so beautiful, Rick.
I know.
Thank you to all of you guys.
Kurt's such a great guy. Triple H, too. I mean, he's the guy that got me back up and running, so I'll always owe him.
Who does the best Ric Flair imitation? Is it Jay Lethal?
Jay Lethal he's on. It's insanity. He can do me and Randy Savage better than we could do ourselves.
Oh. Have any of you guys ever seen Jay Lethal do? The first time I saw it, I was in tears.
He'll be here tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
How does that feel to have so many people like impersonate you and do your voice?
Well, Jay's the only one that I really know that can do it that well. I suppose there's a few, but Jay is just. He is incredibly entertaining, and he is an incredible talent. I'm glad that he's got the opportunity to come over here and become actually a big star with the company, in my estimation.
And he deserves it.
He is. Yeah, he's a great talent.
He's a great talent, guys.
You hear woos at pretty much every sporting event. You hear people doing the Ric Flair woo quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's awesome. That's got to feel pretty cool.
It does.
Oh, we were wondering earlier. You know, we've seen many videos of you entering locker rooms and giving teams pep talks, and college teams, pro teams, no matter the sport. Our Minnesota Wild are struggling, and they had their head coach fired yesterday.
Use your help.
Would you?
Hey, listen, the Minnesota Wild wanted me to come up here and do a promotion with them. And this is funny. Now, this is nothing against the Minnesota Wild. But I know when they talk about me traveling up here and making promos for them and all that, I go, yeah, that's fine. I said that. They asked me what I charge, and they said, well, our budget's $5,000, and I said, lose my number. So.
Oh my God.
that true story.
They do have salary cap issues.
No,
that's what's going on now, isn't it?
No, I can't think of the what is the really nice kid's name that was here that he's playing for Toronto now. The tough guy. He's really a nice guy.
Oh, Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, Ryan called
Reeves,
me.
Yeah.
Ryan and I are very close, and Ryan called me and said, hey, because he had seen something I did with the Blues, in relation with Car Shield, and Ryan said, God, the people up here in Minneapolis would really like you to do that too. I said, God, I'd love to come home but when they ran the $5,000, I think I told Ryan to lose my number too.
That's not even going to get you 2 pair of those alligators you were talking about.
That's hardly a first-class ticket. I mean, come on. It's 3 hours up here from Tampa. Good Lord.
Randy Shaver, how expensive are the shoes you're wearing right now? Are they $2,800?
Oh, my God. If they're 28, I'm lucky.
Oh, man. That's good stuff. You mentioned earlier growing up in Minnesota, Rick. Do you still get around here all right? You recognize everything? I mean, lots changed. I know you don't get up here terribly.
You know, it's funny. I don't. My mom and dad, I finally convinced them at the age of like 65 to move down to Charlotte. And you know, it's funny. You're from Minnesota. You just love everything about it, and except for the cold. But if you're from here, you're acclimated. You're used to it.
Yeah.
But the minute I landed in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was in like March or something of '74.
Yeah.
And it was like normal weather. I went, you know, my dad was a doctor here in Minneapolis and practiced at Abbott Northwestern. And is it still Fairview out there in Edina?
I'm not sure. Chanel, do you know the answer to that?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so he'd be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd be 5 years old. He'd be yelling, shovel me out. Ricky, little Ricky, get up.
The kid had to do all the shoveling.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't miss putting those chains on the tires or any of that stuff. No, literally, when I was telling the bartender last night.
Telling the bartender last night, I love it.
No, when I was a kid, if you went north of Brainerd or you could drink the water all the way with a tin cup.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
My dad would take me up in northern Minnesota, and we'd go up there and go canoeing and, all that stuff. He made an outdoorsman out of me. He made me do everything till the day I made $1,000 and I quit doing anything. I won't change a lamp bulb now, but it could be if I can find someone else to do it.
Well, we're very proud of you.
Thank you. Golden Valley, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
All these years later, and then my parents resided off of Wooddale and Edina before they moved down here.
And then, of course, all the other wrestlers from this area, from roughly your same generation who got into the business.
I know, isn't it amazing?
It is.
The Road Warriors, Rick Rude, God, they're all gone. I don't know how the hell I'm still here. I'm older than all of them.
Well, we were certainly concerned.
I've actually had both Duke and the Mayo reach out to me to want me to leave my body parts soon to figure out how in the hell this has taken place. No. By the way, listen, but tomorrow night when I walk out that door, it's going to be bright lights, big city, pretty ladies, nature boy. We're going to blow the roof off that place tomorrow night, man.
I'm sure you will. It's a great show. Dynamite's
Tony, I need to open the show. They need to see the man back in town.
Oh, Christ, would there be a pop if you're the first one through that curtain?
Some guy said to me at the airport yesterday, "You're a legend in Minnesota." And I said, "No shit." I haven't been to 4 Super Bowls and gotten beaten, but I've done a few other things.
Oh man!
I grew up with Harmon Killebrew, for God's sake.
And the Bud Grant Vikings.
Oh my God! Remember, Bud wouldn't let the guys wear coats or have warmers on the sidelines.
Oh yeah. He wanted them to be tough.
Oh God!
Wanted them to be tough.
Yeah.
I bet it was pretty chilly in Vern Gagne's barn as well.
Oh my God! That's when I was a real fat boy trying to prove something. Oh my Lord!
We wanted to ask you about the Ric Flair drip.
Yes.
The Ric Flair drip. It's a premium cannabis product. Tell us all about that, Rick. We've got some potheads in the building.
But I don't think we're legal in Minnesota yet, are we?
We're almost there.
Almost.
Almost, yeah. Well, it's I got involved. The Ric Flair drip was the thing I did with Offset and Metro Boomin, the song that did 8 billion, whatever it did.
Oh, yeah, I love that song.
Huh?
I love that song.
Yeah, thank you. And then, so I trademarked that, and I was approached by people about getting the cannabis, and I've never been opposed to it. I just didn't do it because I had asthma as a kid. I smoked a joint when I was over at the University of Minnesota a couple times. But,
but asthma trouble, it wasn't easy to do.
I outgrew it, and but it wasn't really as socially as acceptable for so long, and now it's like, it's unbelievable. And so I got involved in that, and now I'm involved with WOOOOO Energy, this new energy drink I have. It's
WOOOOO Energy drink.
Yeah, it's taken over the world, hopefully.
If it's anything like you, it likely will. Yes.
Yeah, it's mushroom infused, and it's
oh my God,
it really is the best. The good mushrooms.
Yeah, not the ones that make you climb the walls.
Yeah. No anxiety, nothing. Just a nice high.
How much time do you have, Rick? I saw you looking at your watch. We never even figured out.
No, I'm not looking at my watch.
Oh, okay.
You talking about my Rolex or my?
Tell us about your watches.
Well, this was attached to my pacemaker that keeps me going. and when I saw her, my pacemaker started moving around on me. So
alarm went off?
I wanted to make sure that it was working okay.
Okay.
Yeah, my blood pressure went up a little bit. So.
And the Rolex? Tell us about the Rolex.
Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, limousine ride, private jet flying.
That's right.
This Rolex was a gift from the WWE for my 70th birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was very nice. Very very, very nice of them to do that for me.
When you walked in, we never had a chance to talk to your people to find out how much time we had, so I just didn't want to keep.
I'm here all morning with her.
For God's sake, would you know?
We'll just cancel everything else we have going on.
Is it true you were there at a bar somewhere? I'm sorry, what's happening? We're good. Okay, they're saying we're good to go. Your guys are telling us we're good to go. Good. Thank you very much. I was just a little nervous.
What? George's in the park? What bar?
I don't know the bar.
Yeah.
But you were there when Andre the Giant drank 106
Oh,
beers.
that was the downtowner in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, I sure was.
106 beers.
Yeah. What happened was, and people keep asking me how accurate that was, is that he was drinking different beer than the rest of us, and the bartender at that time, Charlotte was a brown bag. There was no liquor, so it was just beer and wine.
Okay.
And so it was just ridiculous. And he told the guy, said, "I'm just going to start counting." And so he separated the bag. And from 10 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning, he drank 106 beers.
Andre.
And Frank Valois, who was his manager at the time, drank 56. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Andre was a massive human being.
Yeah.
What about this Frank? Frank
Valois.
Valois.
He was his manager.
How was he? Was he a big dude too? He put down 56 of them.
He's probably a 270-pound guy. But
God help
if you travel with Andre, you drink. That's the way it was.
Well, yeah.
Do you guys remember Barry Darso from here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, does Barry still live in Minneapolis, right?
I hear his name.
He was part of Demolition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen Barry drink 54 beers.
God dang. Man.
Barry, if you're listening, brother, I'm in town. Let's get together tonight. you bring your wife, and I got a date.
Well, now you got your plans all set, you know. Yeah, Barry Darso, I still hear his name.
Yeah, what a great guy.
Now
One of the
again.
nicest people in the world.
Tell me, Rick, is it Wayne Bloom?
Oh, Wayne, of course, yes.
And now his son is involved in NXT, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he is? Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Wapple, maybe look that up. Do I have that correct? Wapple over there across the board from you, Rick, is a big wrestling fan. I think I have the right names. Cal is the son.
Yeah, Cal Bloom.
Of Wayne.
And Cal's in the NXT now?
That's what yes.
Good for him.
I had a chance to meet Cal
last
summer at a bar up in Corcoran called the Stanchion. I don't know if you ever wandered in there, Rick.
Is that by St. Cloud?
No, Corcoran up off of 101 and Bass Lake Road, just north of Medina.
I have never been there, no.
Medina Ballroom. Okay.
I missed that one.
So you were there when old Andre the Giant drank 106 of them.
You know, I would you guys remember Jim Brunzell, right?
Of course.
Yeah, Jim and I remained close. I don't see him very often, but I called him yesterday to find out that Jim Carter had passed away. Did you guys know?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, former gopher, Green Bay Packer, yeah.
Yeah, I did read that. Yes, Jim
Yeah,
Carter.
the guys are going left and right.
Were you playing football at the U when he was there?
Well, I was attempting to.
Okay.
I never, once I joined the Phi Delta house, I never quite could make it to class. So. As a matter of fact, I lived in the Phi Delta house for a year after I was out of school, and my parents thought I was in school.
This was a fraternity house?
The Phi Delta house? Yeah, right next to the Tri Delta house.
Phi Delta Tri. You went?
Yeah, it was Animal House before Animal House.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think you told a couple of those stories in one of the many documentaries have been made about you, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
When are they going to finally make a movie about your life, or did I miss something? No one's made it.
No, I think it's going to come about. I think we're talking with $7, which is Hiram and the Rock and Danny and Hiram, and I hope something comes of it. It just, with writer's strikes and then COVID. It probably would have already been made, but there's been so many issues that have gone on that have delayed. I mean, the writers, there's a strike every other week with the darn writers. So.
Yeah. I mean, you're portrayed in the upcoming Von Erich movie, The Iron Claw.
Yeah, I was there for all of that, unfortunately. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a sad time to see the family suffer with all that tragedy. Really sad.
Yeah, but I am very much looking forward to seeing the movie because I'm a fan.
I've heard it's very good.
I certainly hope so. I bet it'll be a great story. As sad as
it's long overdue.
Yeah,
that movie should have been made 20 years ago.
So, Ric Flair, who makes up the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
For me, it's Stone Cold, Hulk, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold, Hulk, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels.
It's a good list.
It's not a bad list at all.
Yeah, Shawn's the greatest performer of all time.
Oh, your last match with him, the I Love You. Oh my gosh, still gives me chills.
Well, I was 59 years old then. Isn't that amazing? He carried me through this whole thing.
Well, that was an incredible match. I think anyone who was watching that were just with. I mean, it was thrilling and it was
so many emotions.
Oh,
yeah,
for God's
sake.
It
was
absolutely. I mean, and that was how many years ago now?
It was 2008.
That's hard to believe.
I know. Yeah, I actually wrestled Shawn in Minneapolis one time too.
You seem to have a great memory for some of this stuff. I mean,
after being sick, when I was sick in 17, I didn't have any memory of anything going backward for 6 months. So it came back to me, and maybe that's just a gift now that I can look back and remember almost everything that's gone on and enjoy what's in the future for me.
Yeah.
Did you ever write down a list of the matches that you had? I know some wrestlers will write down every single match that they had, who they were with. Did you ever do that?
You mean of all the wrestlers I've wrestled over the years?
Just chronicle every match?
Every single match.
No, but I haven't done that, no. As a matter of fact, I didn't even watch myself wrestle on TV until a couple of years ago, or maybe in the last 10 years.
Wow.
You didn't like the way you just...
No, I just didn't. I don't know why. I just didn't. I knew what I did in the ring. I knew what I accomplished. If I walked out the door and felt good about it, and why would I watch it again? I knew it was good.
Fair enough. Never short on confidence.
No. But I mean, there was a time in my life when I just felt very comfortable with myself, and if you think about our schedules back in those days, I watched ESPN, and that's about it. I had never. This is an eye opener. I had never even heard of Prime, Netflix, or any of that until I was sick in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I just had never. I just watched First Take and get up and went to work. I mean, and I didn't understand all. And then all of a sudden, when I'm laid up at home, after being so sick, I became a junkie for all those darn shows.
Oh, you love all the programs.
Oh God, I loved them. Yeah.
What are some of the programs that you love on Netflix and such?
Well, the first one I watched was Arrow, and I'll actually be with him this weekend.
Wapo, you know what that is? I saw you nodding your head.
Yeah, I think it was a show on CW.
Arrow?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rick, I'm in the dark when it comes to these programs. I don't watch a lot.
And then the one from Chicago where the guy, the father had a drinking problem. Shameless.
Oh,
God, I love that.
I heard that's really funny.
So
Yeah, and Irene, the next door neighbor, she was the best.
What about any of the big ones that just seem to draw in millions of people? Game of Thrones. What are some of the other?
I never watched Game of Thrones. I watched Yellowstone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a popular one.
Yeah, I love Yellowstone, 1883. I mean, all those takeoffs on that. Like I said, I don't get a chance to do it, but I can binge watch if I have a couple hours. I really enjoy it.
You've always been a really big sports fan, so I'm assuming you chose to watch sports for
all my whole life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I even remember, a number of years ago going backstage for WWE because we radio guys were going to get in the ring and do the whole, welcome everybody to the show. And you were wandering around back there, and Mick Foley was wandering around.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you. I didn't approach you, but you were just walking up to everybody saying, "Did you see last night's game? What do you think of this player and that player?" You were very dialed into.
I love sports.
Yeah.
I've become good friends with so many guys. I see LT all the time, and God, I signed for a guy named Roger Fitterman, who's probably the largest I'd have to say that's an accurate statement. The largest memorabilia sports
collector
guy in the country.
Yeah.
And I do these signings with the athletes, and I just love running around talking to them. Tony Romo, and LT. I'll be with Pete Rose and Mike Tyson this weekend in Columbus.
Can we come with?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could hang.
Just to be a fly on the wall.
Pete Rose is just phenomenal. So is Mike.
Now,
Mike's pretty quieted down now, but
he seems to be
material for you, Nick.
What's that, Randy?
I said that's a month's worth of material for you.
Oh God, hanging out with
those guys.
Yeah.
Mike has changed. He's a much calmer character now, right? Ric Flair, like you were saying.
Yeah,
I
just meant like he's got really involved with his daughter playing tennis, and Kiki is his wife. His wife is, they just have he's just really in a great place, and he's in damn good shape. He's the one that trained that guy that knocked Fury down. Well, I actually think the guy should have won the fight.
So many athletes cite you as an influence.
Thank you.
I mean, it's true. I mean, and Randy Shaver here on the telephone line. Let's try to make Randy Shaver jealous. Randy Shaver's very favorite athlete is Jerry West. Ric Flair, have you ever had the opportunity to meet?
I know Jerry very well.
You do?
Oh,
I just saw him in L.A. Last month.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's still with the Clippers.
Right. There you go, Randy Shaver. Rick knows.
If I see Jerry, I'm in California right now. If I see Jerry West, I'll kiss him on the mouth.
Hey, what a great guy! That half-point shot, or that half-court shot he made against the Knicks, and what year was that? 69. I mean,
69.
Yeah. See, I got a memory, man.
Yeah,
you do.
People would think that with your wheeling and dealing and kiss stealing lifestyle, that maybe you hear a lot of rock stars who have led a similar life to yours, Ric Flair, that say, you know what, the damn shame of it is they don't remember a damn thing.
Yeah, no, I've got it all. I think the difference is I didn't do any drugs, so I didn't burn too many of those cells of the brain cells. I've worked my kidneys over my liver pretty hard.
Well, yeah. We were worried about you there a few years ago.
I know, total kidney failure, but you know what the doctor just told me? He said, if you're going to keep drinking, just drink more water with it.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, it's funny. The guy my age, right, if I got up every morning, which so many people do, as you guys know, especially in the South, and at the golf course at 10, right?
Yep.
And you play 18 holes of golf, right? Then they go to the clubhouse and drink and gamble or play cards, right? And they drink all day long, basically, right?
Yeah.
That's normal. But if I go to the bar every day at 5 o'clock, I'm an alcoholic. So
interesting way to put that.
No, think about it.
Well, yeah.
That's kind of the way people can consider it. Well, I'll be somewhere at 5 o'clock today, and if you come out, I could start earlier. What time am I done with media day?
He's looking at Janelle Klein.
Janelle. Good golly.
Like I was saying earlier, we're the ones who introduced you to Janelle.
Don't forget that.
I know. I won't.
You never were a big wrestling fan, right, Janelle?
I had no idea who you were. I'm sorry.
That hurts.
And a couple of years ago, as I said earlier,
if you come out tonight, you'll remember me forever. Or tomorrow. I could stay till Friday if I had
to. We were talking about you one day. We were talking about you on air, and Janelle looked lost. And we said, well, Janelle, you know who we're talking about, the nature boy, the 16-time, the wheelin' dealin'. And she said, I don't know who you... And Josh over here said, what are you, an alien?
Are you from Minneapolis?
I am. Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to high school?
Faribault.
Faribault, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you had no clue?
No clue.
Wow.
It's not your fault. It's my fault.
No, I did something wrong.
No.
I never was in Faribault very much.
Golden Valley.
Golden Valley, yeah.
I'll tell you what. You'll be Tomorrow night at Target Center, you'll
Yes,
be
sir.
with AEW Dynamite.
Yes, sir.
And we do hope you're the first one through the curtain.
Oh, God, I absolutely hope so.
I think Tony Khan will give you that.
I hope so. He's happy. So the Jaguars won. He's in a good mood, man. That was a hell of a game. The Jaguars are good this year, guys.
Well, now Trevor Lawrence, seems to refresh my memory. Who did they play? I'm forgetting.
They played Houston. And CJ.
CJ Stroud.
The final kick that went off the crossbar.
And Stroud is having a phenomenal year. But the Jaguars which are part of the Khan dynasty. Tony and his dad and family. And,
right.
And believe it or not, Tony goes to 3 wrestling shows a week. And he attends every Jaguar game, and he goes to England at least once every 2 weeks because they have that soccer team in Fulham, I believe it's called, right? I mean, he oversees it all.
So he's traveling like you used to.
Yeah, he's private jet flying. I wasn't private jet flying back then.
Well,
I do now when I can.
Well, being such a big football fan now.
If you ever want to see Florida, like in a hurry, I could pull 42 for a plane for you.
Being such a big football fan, and before we let you go, then you tell us, Ric Flair,
yes,
do the Vikings stand a chance this year?
No.
3
interceptions. I watched it and I went, I don't believe it. And it's funny, that kid is phenomenal.
Josh Dobbs?
Yeah. What an athlete. God.
Yeah.
But it's the way it is. It's like the poor Bears. There is a lot of, I like Tom. You saw where Tom came out the other day and criticized everybody, right?
Tom
Brady.
Yeah,
Brady.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he said the NFL has become mediocre.
Yeah. And everybody's criticized him because they said he was just retired a year ago. But it's not mediocre. There's just a lot of great players. I mean, the Ravens are good. Jacksonville's good. Houston's good. Philadelphia's unreal. The Cowboys are good. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see who makes it all the way through. The Chiefs are phenomenal, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really an interesting year for me to watch.
You got to make a Super Bowl pick for us, Ric Flair.
Oh God!
And we'll remember this.
I don't know. I think the Eagles have a chance again.
Yeah.
And I think it'll either be, way it looks right now, it'll either be Jacksonville or Kansas City.
All right.
Isn't Jacksonville AFC?
Yeah. Yeah. We can live with that.
Yeah, one of those two, I think.
Fair enough.
Or I take that back.
Uh-oh.
I forgot about the Ravens.
I put too much pressure on you. I put too much pressure.
No, I don't. I mean, it's going to be interesting. But they're all really good. I love that Lamar Jackson. That kid can play too, boy.
Oh, he's great.
Well, if the Wild can come up with more than $5,000, then maybe you can get them going. Too.
Oh yeah, a lot more than $5,000.
They could use you.
Jesus,
Rick,
come on. It's a nature boy.
I don't even know if I have the words to express what a pleasure this has been and what a thrill this has been.
Thank you very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
honored, guys.
You're very welcome. You've been such a favorite of ours for our whole lives. We've watched you and loved watching you, and we'll be looking for you tomorrow night at Target Center.
Please come out.
We will. Yeah.
I really hope that they have a huge turnout tomorrow. Because it'll really make me look good because I'm doing all the PR today. So if you can hear me, please, please come see AEW and the Nature Boy.
I tell you what, thank you AEW for hooking us up and everything. Rick, have a wonderful time while you're in Minnesota.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. We'll be back in a minute here on the program.
Thanks, kids. Bye.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Half redneck, half posh. 100% fun. Trey Croward and Corey Ryan Forrester try and learn fancy culture in putting on airs.
The host of the Medium Popcorn Podcast, Brandon Collins and Justin Brown.
Okay, so Paddington 2 had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for years.
You guys ruined that?
Justin came in and like took it down like 2 points because of his rating. That's the time we started getting death threats.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People worship that movie.
Putting on airs. The podcast is on YouTube and wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janelle Klein.
She's a real monster. She is a menace to society. She's a master manipulator, and she should not be on the streets.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Where the hell do we go from here?
I don't know. Janelle's got a first-class ticket anywhere she wants to go.
Welcome back to the show. It's 8:33. What do you do after the Nate comes through studio and... Well, he's going to be waiting by Janelle's car after we get
you're in serious trouble, Janelle, that's for sure. I think what we do is thank all the people that sent in nice texts. Rick was great.
Oh, man.
You know, as we assumed he would be. And so many people said some nice things. My wife emailed me, and she's not used to saying nice things to me, and I understand.
No. To me, she says wonderful things.
Yeah, to you always.
Never says anything.
And when she talks about you, she says wonderful things.
Right.
I hear it all the time. But she had mentioned... she got to work, but she wanted to hear the rest of the interview, so she was sitting in her car waiting. And she noticed other people were sitting in their cars. As soon as the interview was over, she turned off her radio, got out, and so did, like she said, 7 other dudes. It was all dudes and her that got out. So, I mean, that's really cool to hear. And that's kind of what Ric Flair does. I mean, I don't think we were overselling it earlier this morning like a couple people said we were.
He was incredible. That was so much fun.
He's
awesome.
Such an entertaining character, and, I mean... We thank you again to AEW for giving us that great opportunity this morning to have Ric Flair in studio. It was a real thrill.
I was on the lobby waiting for him and his handler from AEW to get in here, and he pulled in, and I go in the parking lot to say hi, and the guys across the street were listening, and they were all wooing him, just giving the woo, woo.
Oh, is that right?
From across the street.
Our neighboring business?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was great. He loved it.
There were dudes in the popular. What does that mean? There were dudes in the parking lot next door to our building wooing at Rick as he got So there you go. Thanks very much.
How many wolf whistles do you get, Janelle, when you come and go from the studio?
Zero.
Absolutely
zero.
That's hard to believe.
How you been, Jungle Jane?
I've been good. How about you guys?
We've been very good.
Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
did you
as
have
well.
a good one with your folks and everything?
I did. I missed you guys last week, though.
We missed you too.
Yeah, we took some time.
But what a way to come back.
Yeah. I mean, like we were saying earlier, we got off the air yesterday and maybe 5 minutes had gone by and Dana gets an email and he says, well, AEW wants to know if Ric Flair can come in studio. And we said, well, yeah. Jesus Christ, he can stay in here as long as he wants. Great way to come back. You're right. So here we go. Do you guys know what today is? Today is Giving Tuesday. We're in the middle of this gimmick here where last Friday was Black Friday. Yesterday was, what is it again, Josh?
Yesterday was Cyber Monday.
Monday.
Saturday was Small Business Saturday.
Oh, my God, I missed one.
Sunday was, it's the Lord's Day.
The Lord's. Now, today we've got Giving Tuesday. We didn't get a chance to talk much about Black Friday yesterday. We got caught up in some other things. Black Friday. Well, let's even lump in Cyber Monday. Did you spent all your money, everybody?
Yes. A lot of it, yeah.
Spent a lot of your money in the last 3 days?
Yeah.
Janelle, do you get dialed into either of those things?
I'm not a big shopper.
Not a big shopper.
I pretty much ignore it.
Okay. You want to know some Black Friday facts? Yesterday, I saw some pictures online of the chaos that has taken place on Black Friday at shopping centers and malls and whatever. It looks like a tornado came through the store.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets bad, right? People get hurt, trampled. People have died over the dumbest of sales.
I saw a picture, Josh, of a lady. Now, this would be something. A picture of a lady giving birth on the floor of a Walmart on Black Friday a couple years ago.
Yeah. Had to get there. Couldn't miss the sale.
Black Friday, they say here, has changed a lot in the last few years, but it still has a lot going for it. Changed a lot in the last few years. I'm guessing what they mean by that is the ability to shop online has maybe squashed some of the fury behind Black Friday. But here are some things maybe you didn't know. It attracts more people than Disneyland. Again, with the Disneyland. Americans spend more time shopping on Thanksgiving weekend than they do visiting Disney parks in a year. See if I got the correct arithmetic here. In 2014, Walmart alone attracted more than 22 million people to its stores just on Thanksgiving Day. That's more than the 18.5 million people who visit Disney World in Florida every year, or the 16 million who visit Disneyland in California. That's insanity. 22 million people just on one day are wandering around Walmart here in America. Now, let's see if you can guess this, okay? In 2021, Josh probably already knows this because Josh doesn't miss a beat on anything. So the rest of you is. In the year 20 plus 21, what was the top-selling item on Black Friday? Now, this is... no one's ever going to guess it. But if you were to make an attempt, it's something pretty obscure.
Oof.
I
was just going to say TVs, but those obviously are obscure.
It's not techie at all, not a TV or anything like that. Anybody have a wild guess? It's a completely obscure item. It was the top seller on Black Friday in the year 2021.
Weighted blankets.
Weighted blankets. That's not a bad guess.
Yeah. Well, those were huge for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Are they worth the money?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe one of those like hand massagers.
You know, if you never wash a regular blanket, over time it will become one of those heavy blankets.
Exactly.
Sweat, cooties, dust, Great Dane glitter, as my wife calls all the fur that they shed.
I love that.
Your guess of a hand, what did you say?
Like a handheld massager, you know, where you can get into your back and stuff.
No, I know what you mean. That's a very good guess. The correct answer, top selling item, Black Friday 20 plus 21. Here's a listener who guessed an air fryer. No.
Oh, those were super hot.
Another listener guessed socks and or underwears. Wrapping paper is another guess. No.
A Roomba.
It's not a Roomba.
What about a toy?
It's not a toy.
It's not. Okay.
Crest white strips.
Well, those are expensive if you pay regular price.
Yeah,
I just looked at those yesterday on like the Cyber Monday deals actually and almost bought some.
I wish you would have.
For your tooth.
Yeah.
Crest white strips. So that must be it. You say they're very expensive if they're not on sale?
They're pretty expensive, yeah.
Yeah, like just unnecessarily expensive.
Like Josh said, more people die while shopping than in shark attacks. 17 people have died and 125 have been injured in the United States while Black Friday shopping since 2006. According to National Geographic, whoever puts together these kind of statistics, there's only an average of 16 shark attacks in the U.S. every year, with one fatal attack every 2 years. More people are dying while shopping. There is a website that tracks Black Friday casualties. Do you think you'd ever be in a dark enough mood to look that up?
I don't think so.
There is a website that tracks Black Friday casualties. 12% of Black Friday shoppers are drunk.
That makes sense. I mean, after Thanksgiving, yeah.
Have you guys? Well, I know, Nick, you've made a drunk purchase before in your ab roller. Weren't you drunk for that, or maybe it was just you stayed up super late?
I was drunk for that. Were you thinking? But right there, I thought you were going to go down the route of when I went to a grocery store drunk, and I ran into actually a coworker of Janelle's, but I was so drunk I didn't approach her.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
It was Rena Sargentopoulos.
Rena, yeah. She would have appreciated the humor.
We got to know Rena a little bit years ago. She would visit the show.
One of the funniest people I've ever met.
Very funny, cool gal. we got to know Rena a little bit, well enough to where it wouldn't have been out of the ordinary for me to walk up and say hello in a public place. But I walked into the grocery store and I was so drunk, and I saw ridiculous and totally irresponsible, of course, on my part to be wandering around town this drunk. But I saw Rena in the frozen foods aisle, and I thought I would say hello, but I said to myself, no, I am too drunk.
At least
I'll say something to embarrass myself.
At least you had enough thought process to understand that.
You felt embarrassed a couple times running into Care 11 employees at a grocery store.
Oh yeah, that's right.
My favorite salad bar story comes from you at a grocery store.
This was just a knee-jerk reaction, Janelle Klein. This is quite a few years ago. Of course, Randy Shaver, another one of your coworkers, like Josh was saying, has been a member of this program for 25, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. So, I was no stranger to Randy. We probably had been on the air together for a good 10 years at that point. But I didn't see him in public ever. We almost never would see Randy in public for the first, 10 years that he was on this show. We'd go.
I assume he has people to do everything.
Right. We'd go on the air together, and that was it. But anyway, so I went to like a Lund's or a Byerly's, and I'm at the salad bar. I love a big fat salad once in a while, right?
Yeah.
But
I never do that. I should.
Oh, I do. Of course, I put unhealthy things, and that's where we're going with this. So I'm piling up this salad, and I was feeling kind of subconscious. What's the word I'm looking for? I was feeling
self-conscious.
Thank you. I was feeling kind of self-conscious about it. Being a dude, sometimes you think someone's going to judge you for eating a salad, right?
Well, sometimes, I don't know, Janelle, if you feel the same way, but sometimes if I'm at a salad bar, I kind of feel weird, too, because I feel like people are looking at me like, yeah, you better eat that salad.
Yeah, you big...
Nah, they're thinking about those pressed white strips you need.
Yeah.
You better have some salad, fatty.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, of course, that you would...
I know what you're saying, though. I mean,
God, I love it.
there has been times where, like, at a restaurant with some guys, and I'll think, boy, I would love a salad, but I don't get it for that reason. I just can't say, can I get a wedge and a Diet Coke?
Salad is like feminine or what? Like
I don't know about feminine necessarily, but just like people saying it's not food or something. I don't know.
It's like it's a tough guy thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
And when I was younger, this has got to be 15 years ago. When I was younger, I still had those thoughts once in a while. Is someone going to judge? Now I don't give a rat's ass if you see me walking around with I don't know. Well, give me a food
avocado.
Oh, gross! Not avocado. So anyway, I'm loading up this salad.
Yeah.
And I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's Randy. And he says, "Hey, Nick," and it was a knee-jerk reaction. True story. I turned to him. I said, "F you. There's bacon on there." And he looked at me as if to say, "Well, why am I getting an F you?" And I said, "Sorry, I'm on edge here.
My brother is one of those alpha male tough guys, and we had gone out for brunch for my mom's birthday. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I wanted to try avocado toast. I thought I was safe with my family, and I knew the connotation, and I knew that I'm at risk of getting made fun of. My brother didn't say a word. He just sat back, folded his arms, looked at me, and shook his head no.
You disappointed him.
He was furious with me. I even ordered it quietly, hoping that no one would hear that I ordered it. I was shamed.
Did you change your order then with his judgment?
I didn't want to upset the server there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try it, for Pete's sake.
I also would have probably looked at you sideways.
Oh, if you were there, I wouldn't have ordered it. I thought I was safe.
Sake.
We're family. I thought it'd be okay.
Did he stare at you while you ate it and made it uncomfortable for you?
Dude.
You should have licked all the avocado off the toast or something just to torture him.
I don't think he took his eyes off me. He's eating and staring at me, not even looking at what he's putting in his mouth. But I think he just ordered a plate of bacon or something like that. I had a buddy not too long ago. We went out, and he's a contractor, and he has some employees with him, and I see him kind of hesitating when they ask what we want to drink, and for whatever reason, he's like, "Hey, F you guys, I want an iced tea. Don't make fun of me. You don't have to say a word." For that, whatever reason, the iced tea to him was he thought he was going to become a target. And I'll tell you what, he did become a target by some of his employees.
Yeah, I think I might have a smart-ass comment if one of my buddies orders an iced tea. It's just something that your grandmother drinks when it's hot out. You know what I mean?
Did you say Long Island iced tea? No, just a regular iced tea.
There was a time in this building when, maybe this was okay. I was going to mention, I haven't consumed any caffeine in years, but this is even longer ago than that. At any rate, it seemed like, Josh, maybe you remember this, the only decent drink we had in the friggin', what do you call that thing down there?
The snack
vending machine. The only decent drink we had here, and this is a stretch calling it decent, was iced tea.
Yeah, you're right.
We
had cans of iced tea there for a while.
It was water, and at that point in my life, I hated water. Water bored the living hell out of me. There was water and then coffee and iced tea. We had no Pepsi, no Mountain Dew. This place sucked. So the only thing to get was iced tea for a stretch of time here. Sucked.
And I know you get crap sometimes for ordering light beer, you said.
Oh, for God's sake.
There's a couple listeners that text in. Anytime you mention beer, they're like, well, you don't drink beer, you drink light beer.
So annoying.
These ball bags won't let it go. Number one, I've been stuffing Steve Weisers down my throat since you were in first grade, all right? So shut it. And number two, I'll say it again. You go ahead and get gout. Go get gout and then tell me if you're selective about what kind of beer you drink. Until you get gout, you got nothing to say about it. Because that's what drove me towards light beers. It doesn't activate my gout. I got a lot of things wrong with me, Janelle.
I never knew you had gout. That's nothing to mess with.
Oh, it's terrible.
Did they blame it on the beer drinking?
Yeah, and the red meat, and the rock star lifestyle, and the promiscuous,
all of it,
and the good looks,
jet flying, all that
limousine
kind of
riding,
limousine
and the
riding.
kiss stealing, wheeling.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we got to get the hell out of here pretty soon. Not that we ever want to end a day where Janelle has graced us in studio. We never want those days to end. But we got to wrap her up. What were we talking about? We were talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and today is Giving Tuesday. Okay, this has become a thing. Have you heard of this before?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys? Okay.
Yep.
It's all new to me. And it says here, maybe because people feel guilty after dropping all their cash on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that by Giving Tuesday, by Tuesday, you feel obligated to help those out who might not be as fortunate as you are. So on Giving Tuesday, a lot of folks head over to the Goodwill and the thrift store and the this and the that, and they turn in some things that someone else might be able to use. Nice, huh?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I got to get ready to do that. Maybe I'll go today.
So that's the gimmick with...
Spoiler alert, I'm not going today.
You're not going anywhere today.
No, not on a weekday. That's ridiculous.
My garage is full of stuff that needs to be donated, and I look at it every day, and I'm like, today's not the day.
Well, get over there today.
I just gave Wapple some headphones today.
Yeah.
Are you wearing them?
Oh, God, they sound so good.
Don't they?
Yeah,
you look
comfy,
good.
too.
You look good.
Thanks.
Now, in honor of Giving Tuesday and the idea that a lot of us will be heading over to the Goodwill, there is a list up online of the most bizarre items that people have donated to Goodwill. And every once in a while, we get one of these stories here on the program where...
Oh, sure, you hear a grenade or something
Good
like
Lord.
that. Yeah.
Wasn't it a couple weeks ago? Someone donated a human skull.
Grandma's ashes by accident.
Oh, yep.
No.
So here's, I'll give you the good stuff here. This list of bizarre items that people have donated to Goodwill, accidentally or otherwise. A guillotine. God, help us.
Sweet. I want a guillotine.
You want one of those for your Halloween? I hope it's for your Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool to
totally.
have a guillotine. I've already got 2 machetes. Why not add a guillotine?
Yeah, why not?
Something else that could take your noggin smooth off the rest of your body. Someone did drop off bags of their garbage, and it was not an accident. That's what do you think is happening there at Goodwill that you dropped off your garbage?
Yeah, that's
Do you not understand the
What?
one of the best stories about one of my oldest pals spends time here and he spends time in Florida. So he goes back and forth a lot between here and Florida. And one year when he was moving, I believe, back to Florida from Minnesota, because he's just a big, dumb animal, he doesn't have any suitcases or anything like that. He puts everything in black garbage bags. Black, I don't know why I said it with that inflection. He puts everything in black garbage bags. Everything. So one day he's packing up to go back to Minnesota, and he put his garbage in black garbage bags, but he also put all of his clothes and belongings in black garbage bags. And he said to himself, on my way out of here, I'll dump the garbage in the dumpster, and I'll put my clothes in the back of the car, and I'm out of here. Well, take a effing wild guess what he did.
Yeah.
He mistook the black garbage bags, threw all of his belongings in the trash, and brought to Florida 3-4 bags of garbage. Got there, needed a new pair of pants, maybe a T-shirt, maybe his deodorant and his toothbrush. Nope, nothing.
Oh, that sucks.
That's a beautiful thing is what that is. That's awesome. What else did someone bring to the Goodwill? A basket of dead kittens?
Oh.
That's not right.
Well, I don't want them. Here you go.
Was this yours, Josh? It's a glass jar with a label on it that says fart, June 1975.
No, this was July 1992 you're thinking of.
Oh, the 75 fart. That's aged to perfection now.
Let me ask you something. Do you crack that jar open?
I had a friend that did that to his mother. Wrote "smell this" on it. Nick, remember when Gatorade came in glass bottles?
Yes, I do.
So, yeah, this was 91, 92-ish, and he was bad one night. I mean, it was awful.
It's disgusting.
And so he filled one of the larger Gatorade bottles with that and capped it up real nice.
No, he didn't. With a fart?
With a bunch of farts in it.
A bunch of them.
So it'd be sitting there, all of a sudden he'd go, oh, you have to get up and run over to the table to grab this
I'm
thing.
going to vomit. I'm going to puke.
And his mom was, may she rest in peace, one of the sweetest ladies. Like, she was everyone's mom. I'm sure, hopefully everyone's had that experience with a friend. She was everyone's mom. And so the next morning, we get up. You know, she had been up before us, and she's like, boys, I opened it and I smelled that bottle. What was going on with that? It was absolutely awful.
Mom inhaled the farts.
Yeah, stayed overnight. Her own son's farts. Why would he do that to her?
That's why neither Janelle or I ever plan on being a mom. Because one day your kids are going to jar farts for you and you're not going to know. Right?
That's not right.
And you're going to regret everything about it. What else did they find at the Goodwill? There was a couple more that I really liked. The best is that one, a glass jar labeled fart.
June 1975.
June 1975. Oh, I don't know how to explain this to you, but someone, these are the two that I liked. Someone donated to Goodwill. I've never seen this before. Underwear for squirrels.
You know, I've got a buddy who has trained squirrels in his backyard.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's true. You guys have met him. You've hung out with him. And he somehow has these squirrels. They live in his backyard, and he can get them to come when called. It's insane.
That does not surprise.
Why isn't he doing halftime at the Wolves game?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, he's a plumber. He's a busy man.
Well, he should get some underwear for his squirrels.
Do you know anybody who puts underwear on their squirrels? No one knows that.
I'm trying to find squirrel underwear too, and I can't find any.
Look up sexy squirrel underwear.
Oh, that's why.
Someone else donated a painting of Rosie the robot made from the Jetsons, and she's posing provocatively. I would like to see what that looks like.
That sounds kind of hot.
Boy, I don't know. Someone sent me that kind of now infamous Jetsons porno.
No.
Oh,
and
it's not that bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is.
It's the daughter and the. That was terrible. I haven't forgiven that person.
Can I tell the flying squirrel story real quick, since we were talking about squirrels?
Of course.
A gal that used to work here loves squirrels. She just thinks they're the most adorable animal in the whole world. She loves it when they run through the yard and they pick up the garbage, whatever, and roll it around, and whatever squirrels do. You've seen them do their thing. She loves them. And she and her husband got a flying squirrel at a pet shop or something. And they kept it in a little cage, and it was very cute, and they fed it meth or whatever you feed flying squirrels.
Meth.
And after, I don't know how many months, they said, okay, you know, he seems to be acclimated, and he loves us, and he understands the routine of when. So let's let him, let's take him out of the cage and kind of let him have the run of the apartment.
Yeah.
They were very excited about this. So they let him out, and he kind of was running around, and I don't know if he flew around. And then they, I don't know, maybe a day later, they said, well, they wanted to go out to dinner or something like that. And should we just leave him out? Yeah, let's just leave him out. Let's see how he handles it. And they came home, and he was dead behind the stove. He flew behind the stove, and he died.
Did he have a cute name? Do you remember?
It was Tookie Poo Poo Pookie. I have no
That's
idea.
a common name.
I was gonna say,
you hear that all the time.
Yes, I don't know what. But he flew behind the stove and he died.
That's awful.
It's hilarious.
Poor little flying squirrel.
No,
Only in America, Jesus has a theory why the squirrel would want to wear underwear.
Why is that?
You got to keep the nuts warm. You got to keep the nuts warm.
Hey, by the way, before we go, it's nothing but 93X. Speaking of nuts, it's nothing but 93X Nutcracker tickets all day. Listen every hour from, now until 7 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the 93X Nutcracker featuring Fallen in Reverse, Daughtry, and Sleep Theory. That show is, it's next Friday at the Armory. Okay? Nothing but Nutcracker tickets all day long.
Deal.
Stay tuned into that. Janelle, thanks.
Thank you,
Janelle.
Wasn't it a thrill to meet
What
Ric Flair?
a fun day. And now I know who he is.
Yeah.
And now I know how red you can get. Zelda Master Jesus texted in a shout out to his lady just because he said she never usually listens, but the place she's working at today has the show on, so he figured he'd give her a shout out, and he goes on to say LOL. So we appreciate you listening this morning. Shout out to Concrete Jesus and the crew at American Concrete Design LLC out of Farmington. Thanks to Micro Penis Jesus and the gang at Beyond Remodeling for tuning in this morning, and happy birthday to Turkey Bucket Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.